Welcome to Around the Mage Table, the podcast for the rest of us. This is episode 52. I am joined by the other donkeys in this podcast. Let's start with saying hello to Lithian. How are you doing today?
Hey, man. How's it going?
Feeling good?
Doing great. Doing great.
Awesome. And Scrapclaw, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I just came back from the river. Got to get that sun and water while it's hot.
Can we talk about just real quick before I'm sorry, Io, to cut your time, but
What,
I just
I'm
want
always late?
the fact that you're always rushing home and always promising to be on time. Now, in fairness, today you were only 30 minutes behind after you got all said and done. But we've had to scrap episodes entirely because of your shitbaggery about.
Look, summer's hard for me because I like to do things. And so I'm trying to squeeze this in between my very busy schedule of laying in bodies of water. So
I have a job at 8 o'clock in the morning.
And by the way, I want to point out, this is the third week in a row I've sworn before the minute marker. I don't know what that does to me in the algorithm, but
just bleep
I have
it, brother.
to stop. All right, Io, I'm sorry to cut you there. How you doing, bud?
Pretty good.
Now that Mythic Rating's over, what are you doing with your life?
Well, before the raid was, well, actually, I guess after we got Cutting Edge, but before this week, I was playing Clair Obscure Expedition 33, and I beat that, and now playing Donkey Kong Bonanza.
Okay, so real quick, I'm sorry, I know this is a wild podcast, but I've been playing Donkey Kong. At first, I know that you were frustrated with it. I was a little frustrated as well. I think I shared a lot of what you felt. How are you feeling now that you've been playing a little longer?
Yeah, once you get through that first level more and you kind of start to figure out the game, it gets a little better once you get more familiar with the mechanics of it. And I've also been, now that I've been playing, it's been on like my TikTok algorithm, so I've been seeing people kind of get a little more creative with the jumps and stuff, similar to how they would in like Mario Odyssey. So that's pretty cool. That seems like it's going to open up the game a bit for me. So I still need to jump into like the second layer. I've only been able to play it once so far, but hoping it'll be more fun.
I found that playing it in, because we've been traveling a little bit this week, and I played it in handheld like when the kids went to sleep and I was in the hotel. And I just found that playing it in handheld is actually extremely frustrating. But as soon as I put it on like my screen, it's like, oh man, this is such a better game. So that also I think was contributing to my frustration. But anyways, we're a Wild Podcast. We were actually just talking, should we take the week off? And we decided that no, the community craves this. I think it's a lifeline of this community. And we would be doing a disservice if we didn't do our podcast today. I will be honest, we don't have like a grand theme to today's episode, but we figured, hey, you know what? Even if it is a little bit shorter and someone timestamped that to make me regret my words, that'll be okay. We will get our yap out to you guys. And I say this because next week, Scrap, you are traveling a bit. And then the following week, all three of you are traveling together to Gen Con.
Come find us.
Gen Con in Indianapolis. Actually, Scrap, guys, we need to get you guys shirts, maybe.
Letty and I already have matching shirts.
Oh, okay.
We have Taco Tuesday shirts.
So,
I don't have those shirts, but that was my prompt. So that's my.
You'll sign it. You'll autograph it for him.
That's my contribution.
So you guys will provide pictures, I'm sure, of you guys getting very drunk from Lithian's whiskey selection.
They won't drink my whiskey.
I'll have a sip.
And I'm also going to be moving I moved the week of the season starting. So I'm moving that Monday, I think, right now. And that means that I'll have to have the computer set Monday night so that I can play Tuesday. We'll see how that pans out. So wish me luck.
Start of the season, you're going to have a slow start.
So I say all that. Well,
it's the first week.
Yeah, I'm not going to get taunted by that. I say all of that because the next couple weeks, we don't know if we can guarantee episodes, especially if the news is getting really juicy. But we wanted to make sure we tried to get this episode out. All right, so are you guys ready to just jump into this random assortment of news?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, record time of a podcast. Let's see how it goes. First thing I wanted to talk about. Valorstones are no longer being reset on the new season launch. So the question is, why the hell do Valorstones exist?
Yeah, we don't need them. Just don't play.
They're
a relic of the past.
I was an advocate, not necessarily an advocate. I wasn't necessarily pushing for him, but I was like an apologist, let's say, for the idea that Valorstones existed, because I was like, look, the idea is that there's a difficulty currency and then there's a time investment currency. This kind of defeats the time investment part, because if you can start the season with a fully loaded Valorstone, what's the point? Especially if
you got crest caps still.
Sure, but
yeah. So what's the point of Valorstones?
I don't think
that's what I mean.
Well, have they even mentioned whether they're going to remove the transfer of Valorstones when the season starts? The impression was given to me that we were going to have this as part of the Turbo Boost event, whatever they called it, that you could trade to Valorstones. But I don't believe they've necessarily said that was going to end with the season, so we're still unclear about that. But Scrap, you also pointed out when we heard this news originally, you get so much Valorstones from doing the campaign anyways.
Yeah, no, if you do the campaign quest, you pretty much cap out on Valorstones. To the point where last season, I stopped doing the side quest because I was capped out on Valorstones. So I'm kind of with you, Frank. I think that they should just get rid of this. If there's no cap, then it's literally just a speed bump, just to slow you down arbitrarily. I like the crest. I will support the crests forever, I think, because I do think time gating is necessary to keep the game healthy, to keep you playing weekly instead of binging it all at once. But Valorstones now, yeah, healthy for me. I think Valorstones now seem like just like a random thing to slow you down that doesn't really make sense, because you just got to put a little extra time in that's not related to the getting your gear up, doing quests and more shit.
I vote to get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Not that my vote counts.
So this is like the tip of the week I have for you then, right? If this is the case, and let's just say for the sake of argument that all the Valorstones will not be transferable when the season starts, as would be assumed, I think. My tip of the week would be, okay, so you need to look at all your alts, if you have them, and start transferring Valorstones to where it makes sense, because, for example, my main doesn't need any Valorstones, as Scrap pointed out. We will just be able to get a ton from the quest, which I'm going to do on my main, but I will never do it again. So I'm going to take all my Valorstones away from my main and funnel them to my most likely alts so that they already have their Valorstones ready to go. But then this just seems like a very unintuitive system for not only players in general, but also the casual players, where it's they're never going to think of that. And then they're just going to have this wasted cap. What are we doing,
Casual players aren't reading Wowhead for this news post that's literally one sentence. Also, dude, no explanation, no nothing, just one sentence blue post. Yeah, just get rid of them. Save the headache.
If you were gonna argue that, when you get a piece of gear after you have one and then you want to upgrade it, you want to have a currency attached to it. Valorstones made sense, but I feel like we're kind of at the point now where by the time you get that extra piece of gear that you're going to upgrade with the upgraded Valorstones, you're probably going to have so many that they're kind of pointless anyway. So yeah, you might as well just get rid of them and just not have anything attached to that.
Go on, Lithium.
I mean, if I already spent the crests, why add complexity to it? Just let me upgrade all the way up to my crest level and call it good. Well, that's what we do anyway.
That's the other problem too, is that there are people, I don't usually do this, but I've heard people who will say, I'm not going to upgrade this item because I don't want to waste the Valorstones, because I'm hoping to get my best in slot version of it, right? So, let's say they get a heroic mace out of the raid, like a two-hander, and they don't want that. They want the best in slot one from this, as an example, this season. They'll not upgrade their stuff because they're like, it's so damn expensive to upgrade, especially a two-handed weapon. They'll piss away 1,100 Valorstone. And then later in that day, or the Thursday second day of raiding, then it drops for them, and they're like, "Well, now I don't have any that just seems again."
Yeah, but you could always get more Valorstones. It's not hard to get; it just takes time.
Sure, but okay, 150 Valorstones for doing a 12, and that's only if someone else in the group gets IO up from it. Yeah. Which, in fairness, I say 90% of the time is the case. But anyways, 150 per run, Scrap. That's 30 minutes a pop. To get 1,100 Valorstone, I mean, that's, you
don't need that weapon right this second right now. Chill.
Sure. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, don't you think that that's a counterproductive system if that's
I'm against Valorstones.
I love how she said she's against Valorstones, but then immediately just defended it with
don't be an idiot and upgrade that quickly.
I'm against Valorstones because they don't make sense, but I don't think that every time I've not had enough Valorstones to it's to upgrade something I've already upgraded, just a side grade or a different shebang. I don't know. I've never been oh, I just need a couple of Valorstones. dude, need more Valorstones. Like, it's always frustrating. There's nothing fun about this mechanic.
It's the
not
alts that I always feel like it's a pain in the ass.
See, I was kind of like, what do you guys talk about Valorstones? I literally am always capped, but I don't play alts. This is just a speed bump for alts.
I think this update, or go ahead, Aya.
I was gonna say another thing is annoying too is when you're low on Valorstones and then you want to use your sparks to create the spark and you have to have 250 and you don't and you're just like shit, I can't even craft
500 for a two-hander.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I think this is just a sign. This update's just a sign that it's gonna go away over time.
Yeah,
they're just slow rolling it.
I think they're just trying to like hold on and be like, come on, there's got to be a reason that this is still in here. Maybe midnight will go away for sure.
Little side story here. I was listening to Max on Twitch and someone asked him, do you think like Blizzard devs have an ego?
I did see that.
Yeah. And I don't think they meant to say ego. It's that they're maybe stubborn, right? They're stubborn to let go of something.
Yeah.
They're implying that they have such an ego that they know what's best, and so that they're making these decisions against the player feedback. Max, I think, handled the question very well. He said, like, no, well, first off, I know these people, and that's not the trait that I would assign to them. And second, you have to give them like the benefit of the doubt that they are kind of forecasting what the results of all these changes would do, yada yada yada. And I agree with that. But this is an example where I'd say stubbornness, right? They're stubborn to let it go. It just doesn't, like, they've already conceded the trading. Now they're conceding the reset.
They never come out and address this specifically, like the reason why they don't want to remove them.
I would say, like, if Valorstones are removed, there is a little bit of a void for, like, at the end of a key, if you're already capped on crests and you don't get the piece of loot, what do you get? You get
100 gold.
That's 100 gold is like doesn't even pay for a repair cost, you know. It's like there's a void of, like, if you don't get the gear drop, you just walk out empty-handed. Like, you should get a little something. So that's what it's your little
sure, but that's something that could be more gold, right?
No, yeah, that's what it could be at, but that's the void. I think that they're just like casually like, whatever, this is currency that is only a couple people get annoyed by not having.
Let's ask this question then: is Valorstones causing more people to play that would fill up? Like, it's not making the game feel as dead because more people are jumping into dungeons because they're like, oh, I need Valorstones.
Marginally,
Valorstones, they're just gonna do that little what are those, the echoes or whatever?
That's the best farm, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's not even gonna really get them in the dungeons. I mean, yeah.
Can we just acknowledge let's hold space for a second. Scrap and I started talking for a second, and I guarantee you every single person that comments on our YouTube about how Scrap interrupts people was like, here it comes, she's gonna steamroll, and she held back.
I'm better than people give me credit for.
I was way worse. When did she hold back?
No, I'm much better than people give me credit for.
Now that Scrap, stop cutting me off.
Now that you left space for me.
She didn't actually have a point to make. She was just going to say something, but then she's like, oh, wait, he might actually have something to say. I better hold back.
I don't even remember what the topic was. You gave me space. I kind of want to talk now, but I don't remember what the premise was.
I don't even remember now either.
Yeah, forget it. Let's move on from Valorstones.
Valorstones, they're stubborn. They need to go. Okay.
They're dead.
We've got some PTR tuning going on right now. I don't really necessarily want to dive into this because two things I want to call from this. Lithian, you've been going through the experience of trying to figure out now. Okay, I'm gonna paraphrase this. You tell me if I've got it correct. You want to find a DPS because I'm going to tank this season. You're going to DPS in our E-team group at least. Yeah. You want to find the meta DPS, right? You want to predict it. No. Now at the moment you've landed on Devastation Evoker, right?
No, that's the opposite. Devastation Evoker is the opposite of the meta. For the tank that I play, I'm going to play a Flavor of the Month tank, whatever that is. But I don't know what the meta is going to be for DPS week 1. Like, you don't really realize what the meta is until maybe a couple weeks in. You can guess. You can have some educated guess based on PTR performance, but I'm playing Devastation Evoker because I enjoy the playstyle. I haven't played it. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time before you start to see, like, Arcane got weird buffs in the middle there, and they kind of boosted themselves. Balance has always been good, but now they're really bad in PTR. If people are tracking, but Dev hasn't had a season. and this is probably not their season either. But I'm gonna play it anyway.
I love the logic.
Kind of like Scrap playing Survival Hunter for whatever reason.
I'm just lazy and I don't like to learn new kits.
I also have a theory. I also have a theory that AUG is going to come back, but that's a whole different thing.
Yeah. So and I'm looking back. Actually, maybe the meta forms like so for example, Frost DKs were kind of part of the meta. Although it looks like the Shaman's kind of squeezed them back out.
Enhancement popped up that week that season.
Yeah. But like, Unholy was forming and Balance was forming pretty quickly. Honestly, from my gauge of it, Fire was only meta just because of a little bit of a tuning, but like everyone was saying Arcane was a sleeper and that 8% buff just kind of like slingshot it into the first. But I say all this because like even look at Discipline here, and we came out of last season with Discipline being the meta and it continued to be the meta. People are still trying to figure it out the first couple weeks. So like,
yeah.
We talk about the tier sets and all that stuff. Like you just got to give it some time to form if you're really going to figure out what the meta is. But back to your story, you are going to chase the tank as your alt as a flavor of the month. Yeah. But you've chosen Devastation. Now there's still tons of tuning going on to the point where Balance, as you brought up, was I guess nuked into the ground per Tettles.
Yeah, they were. It's so bad.
I don't know why you're predicting all coming back, because I want to say that in the 3 weeks that I've seen, maybe like two lines of changes done to AUG.
No, it's a mid-season comeback. Yeah, he's playing the long game.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'm playing. Yeah,
patch, they're gonna bring it back.
It's the long con. It's the long con.
Yeah.
Because I think Demon Hunter is gonna have an AUG type spec coming too. So you just wait. It's gonna happen.
But here's where I don't understand what's going on, because yes, Balance got nuked, right? Arcane seems to be receiving. I mean, maybe this is like a nerf, and this is like they kind of cancel each other out.
Arcane, they just keep buffing Arcane.
Well, look at this right here, 3% just all around. Have another 3%.
Yeah, they just keep buffing.
As an Arcane mage, what is going on? I don't know.
They want to keep Arcane in the meta.
They got one on the dev team.
Trying to compensate for you losing like the winning streak, maybe. I don't know if that has any impact on it.
If I had the fortitude to play a mage, I'd play Arcane.
I was listening to Yoda today, and a Frost mage was saying that there's a good chance that they might be meta, but I don't know. I mean, there's still tuning to be done anyways. But like, look, there's some more ret buffs here. Holy seems to be doing pretty well, Ioski. Holy Paladin.
Holy Paladin. So it's not in these ones you have up, but I believe like 2 days ago they just got a bunch of buffs.
Holy Shock, Holy Light.
Yep, I think I saw on the Paladin Reddit, it's about a 5 to 6% increase overall, so that's pretty good. Especially for like raid, I feel like we were lacking, so that might kick us up a bit. And then we were already decent in Mythic Plus, so that'll just help us, especially if they keep that Halls of Atonement third boss with the same tuning. My God, gonna need that.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in just 1 second.
Well, I don't think in your group, I don't think people are doing that boss right. Like you have to be on the canister immediately because it's a really big damage check. And I was watching people just like
column A, column B, I think.
Well, the one time we were on it, someone dropped like a circle on it when I needed to be there to kite it into it, and then the circle killed me. So it was either one thing was going to kill me, the other. So
we're going to talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
So Io and I and Lithium have been helping him when he can. Have been trying to make some YouTube shorts. I think the channel would benefit from YouTube shorts. We thought, hey, let's just make quickly some. Here's what's changed from the last time you've seen this dungeon, and we like run through really quickly what's changed. However, we can't get any dungeons done because I'm the tank, he's the healer. If Lithium comes, that's one of the 3 DPS. But Scrap, we could talk about Kevin for a second too.
I was saying we met Kevin.
Anyways, we have 2 to 3 DPS that are just like there for 1 millisecond to like see what their spec looks like in a dungeon, and then they'll quit the second anything goes wrong. I think we talked about this last week where we had the healer who said, "We're not going to time this. I'm out." It's like,
you're not going to time the 12 in PTR.
And we were doing a 10, and like people were just not doing the mechanics, as I pointed out. It didn't just happen in Halls of Atonement; it happened in Tazvesh as well. We were trying to do the male boss, and the first set of mail went out fine, and then the second one, someone just left a briefcase. So I went running to grab it and throw it in, but it was too late. And then the DK was like, "I'm out," and just left. It's like, what the fuck? So like, I get frustrated because I feel like we can't even test the stuff correctly because people are playing PTR incorrectly. Whatever. They're only just wanting to see what the changes are. But again, in fairness, and is anyone that like knows theory crafting well going to see what the damage output really looks like on a 12 PTR run? Like, no, probably not. Not to mention how many times do people pick meta based off the fact of how people perform in like plus 20s, and yet they're never going to see a pool that looks like the ones that they do in those plus 20s to begin with.
Yeah.
But yeah, all that said, there's still a ton of tuning to go on. This week, we've got the War Within Dungeons back. I didn't see any tuning to tell, but we will hopefully get those videos out. We're going to record them tomorrow night. And
we're pushing 16s tomorrow night.
No.
Maybe after PTR.
Oh my god, a stacked night.
Well, I'm not going to talk about how you had IO break terms of services for you. So
well, don't talk about that. Don't put it out. So you're not going to talk about it. But yeah, I haven't logged on my account since then. I don't know if it's been shut down or what.
But look, Frost DK has been predicted to be meta, and it reduced. Okay, so that got I read that as buffed. So it's getting nerfed, right? But there are some other things like they buffed Breath of Sindragosa, which is their biggest thing, right? So maybe that's just like a
reduced
small
12%.
Well,
kind of
so
brutal.
Frost got breath buffed, and they can extend breath, but the damage was reduced overall by 12%. So it's kind of the trade-off. But Frost is still a banger.
Yeah, that's what I saw. It's surprising to see balance down bad with just these like the tier set changes, but I guess it was a big deal.
The problem with balance is all their damage came from the tier set, and anytime all your damage comes out of a tier set, they got to do something. They're gonna give them some buffs, I'm sure.
Wasn't it in like Shadowlands that like Feral Druid was like on the PTR like exploding, blasting, and everybody was freaking out for like 1 week, and they just like halved it? Was that Shadowlands? Yeah.
When you start banging in PTR, that catches people's attention. They're like, hold on.
They were just like, no, and then they never
you have to sandbag it.
Them.
Yeah, you gotta sandbag a little bit, dude. It's fine.
Lots of Warlock buffs, it looks like. Lots of Rogue buffs, it looks like. What was I was just gonna point something else. Oh yeah, scrap the other 2 hunter packs got nerfed to shit. I say nerfed to shit, not nerfed to shit for Beastmaster.
10% is kind of brutal.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Yeah.
But like I'm just so blown away, and maybe this is because some developers like want a
Alley?
Yeah, well, where's my prop paladin buff? Everyone, so Yoda did a tier list, and Dorky did a tier list where they were talking about what tanks could be great, and in fairness, they prefaced it with like, hey, we're not necessarily talking about tuning here, we're talking about the toolkit. I want to talk about Halls of Atonement for a second, because I'm terrified that the kiting meta is going to come back.
We're going to talk about Kevin?
Well, sure, you can talk about him too at the same time.
We're not going to talk about Kevin.
Okay, just so everyone knows, there's this guy Kevin. He was in our PTR run. He left our group early. Okay, fair enough. It was in fairness IO. That was like when we were already an hour in. He left. Okay, fair enough. We just so happened, me and Scrap got on live, and then he was in our next group. And he was an elemental shaman. I was on my Arcane Mage. I made a taunt to myself.
Frank was feeling good about himself. Yes. And no, you made a taunt to all of us.
No, I didn't take it to him. I made it to you. Like I said, I'm gonna wipe the floor with him. He proceeded to wipe the floor with me. There's the Kevin lore. You happy?
Well, no, hold on. You're missing the details.
He was a world 100 mythic raider. I should have known.
Yeah, but he like his highest key was like a 12, and he like smashed you at a 15.
How are you gonna tell the story of Kevin Sham without telling the story of Kevin Priest?
Well,
and okay, so let me take the story.
Bro.
I'll take the story from here. God. Is that Frank gets humbled in the key that we do with Kevin, and then Frank immediately has to investigate, like looking into his mom, his address, his Raider IO, you know, like all the basic things. Yeah. Anyways, meanwhile, we're plugging into another group, and we run into Kevin Priest, or what was it?
Remember,
Kevin
you
Priest?
found his friend that was like the tank.
Yeah,
like,
the tank. I was
like happened to get into his key. We're like, oh, hey, it's you again, and then Kevin Priest showed up.
Kevin Priest, who maybe his first time ever playing that Priest. I think his highest key timed was like a 12 or a 13 or something.
He's got that young man energy, you know, that kind of...
We don't know anything about Kevin, but we do know that he did sweep the Arcane Mage as a Shadow Priest his third day of playing.
I unraveled on that. It was a motherload. I unraveled on that because I got killed, and I just said, I'm done.
And I believe you even lost to me on that run. You were so tilted that somehow you fell behind the fucking survival hunter too.
It's okay. You're tanking next season. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Well, you know what? I was humbled. I took it on the chin, right? All right, so that's the lore of Kevin. Anyways, back to what I was saying.
Lore of Kevin.
Halls of Atonement, the Gorgons, the little dog things.
You just need an invoker, dude.
Gargons.
No, so here's the thing.
Take that bleed right off.
All I can remember from Shadowlands Season 1 was everyone talking about the tanking meta, right? And it was the kite. Halls of Atonement being part of the reason. These Gargons, whatever they're called, apply a bleed so quickly and so damaging. Like 5 stacks is where it's like the limit, and there's 2 of them in every pack, sometimes 4, 3 in the pack after the second boss. And so they apply it like once every 5 seconds, so that either you have to bubble as a prop pally, which is why I think Yoda and all of them are saying like prop pallies are going to be kind of crucial. You have to stone form as a dwarf, or you just have to kite. Right? And you can't be a dwarf, you can't be a bubble if you're a VDH on this dungeon. So like what the hell's gonna happen to VDHs other than kiting?
I thought kiting was the mechanic for that. Like you were supposed to kite it. Like you're not supposed to face tank those. You're supposed to at some point you get enough bleeds, you gotta bail.
I don't like that. I don't like that kind of mechanic for tanks.
I mean, that's a mechanic that like is something that you can do is in your toolkit that sometimes you gotta bail. It's not used in a lot of dungeons.
Well, hold on. It's not sometimes, it's every time.
Well, okay, with that, that's the only like mob in this entire dungeon set that has a kite mechanic, is it?
Like, if I'm on my Blood Death Knight and I try to bail out, what am I going to do to heal myself? I can't hit anything.
That's a good point.
Vengeance Demon Hunter has to hit stuff.
Well, you're also not getting hit by anything.
No,
like,
but the bleed's ticking.
Hit by the bleed.
The bleed's ticking.
Oh,
bleed is
let the healer do some work for a minute, dude. Like
an evoker can take 1 bleed off every like minute and a half or whatever.
Can you stun the bleed? Is it CCable?
Yeah, so hold on. Let's talk about this scenario, right? So he's on his blood DK, right? And they're famously immobile. He gets 5-6 stacks, right? So he's like, okay, I have to bail. Well, here's the problem in pugs, at least, right? People aren't like in our PTR runs with Kevin the Great. I put skulls on the Gargons, and they were not being targeted. They're not being focused, right? And
they have a lot of health.
No, not really. Anyways, they were chasing me, and you know I was on my prop pally. I could get away pretty easily, but sometimes they would get to me because the cast of the archer, whatever, like the empowered beasts goes off. They are no longer CCable when they're empowered, and they're faster, right? Not to mention, because there's stairs in that area, a ton of them, like there were constant line of sight issues with Ayaski as he's trying to save my life. And they were sometimes reapplying the dot because they like just would catch up to me when I ran out of all the things. Now imagine that as a blood DK who doesn't have a horse to get on unless they play their horse class or whatever's tree.
Yeah. No, they can't. They don't have that.
What is that one?
So there you go.
But let me ask you a question, Frank. When you made that pull. Yeah, but when Lithian made that pull in the scenario, how many packs did he pull at once? Because I think you're thinking of the 3 packs.
Frank's a tank in this scenario, but here's the deal. So Frank, I want you to consider our E team and understand nobody on that team is doing prio damage, right?
Yeah, and there's no prio in that.
You have to be able to survive.
We're going to get an MDI, and we're going to have that pull show up on our first run, and we're done. Immediately out.
Is that on the calendar yet, or no?
No. They don't announce it till season starts.
We got to go hard on that one. This is the one.
Yeah. We'll have to figure out how to deal with that as a group. But it takes some prio damage, and that's the issue. And pugs, nobody's doing prio damage. They're all padding for the meters, man.
Oh, yeah, bro.
So
I enjoy how Scrap, who I believe tanked maybe in Wrath on a druid years ago, was telling Frank handle the first pull of a dungeon in a recent WoW.
Look, I experienced the dungeons and I can observe how tanking is done. And then I can comment
as
on
backseat Frank, right? If I said that, you would fucking eviscerate me.
Well, you're not telling me to press Wildfire Bomb. Like, I'm not telling you just very specific. So I'm just making sure you're pulling it right.
Backseat Franking came out of the fact that I'd be like, hey, make sure you're standing in your consecrate, like.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Anyways.
Yeah. Well,
backseat Franking came from the logs and all the analysis after the key.
No, that was phase 2. That was phase 2.
Phase 2 of backseat
the PowerPoints.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was taking your car away, Franking.
Oh no.
Do you guys want to talk about some drama?
Sure, let's go.
Okay.
Drama.
let's start this with a precursor of the collector's bounty, because Scrap, you wanted to give us a quick update on how many mounts you've gotten.
Yes, I want to give a quick update. I'm at about 70-ish attempts, roughly, between all the things I'm running. So I'm factoring that in. And I have 2 mounts. I have the Blue Proto Drake, and I have the Onyxia one. I really want the King's Rest mount. I only have about 7 characters that can comfortably do King's Rest alone. Maybe I can push it and throw some other characters in there, but that's the one I really want.
7's a good amount, though.
Yeah, well, I've done 7 runs of it 3 weeks in a row and haven't gotten it. So
I should go get it.
So by that, 21 is you're now officially in the bad luck roll, because you should have gotten within 20. Io, you got something too?
Yeah, I got this week I got Azure Drake from Eye of Eternity, I got the Blazing Drake from Dragon Soul, and I got Jaina's mount from Battle of Desire Lore, so my Frost Mage will be flexing next season.
I do feel like you're doing a lot of attempts though, because you're trying a lot of different mounts. I'm kind of targeting a handful of them, so I'm only at about 70-ish. Because I'm only targeting like 5 mounts.
I haven't gotten shit.
Well, I was gonna say, I think Lithian doesn't give a shit, but I got Mimiron's head. I was trying to get Ashes of War.
Is there somebody you want to think about that Mimiron's head?
Didn't I send you 10k gold, by the way?
I haven't opened my bank.
I sent you your tip. Oh wait, no, I didn't, because I can't send to a horde character. Never mind.
Oh, never mind. Well, I guess I won't have the tip, but
I'm happy about that.
No tip for you.
clip that. So anyways, this was a big ordeal when we did our last episode, for the past couple of weeks, because people were gatekeeping the idea that you can't have my mount. I worked hard for it, even though the fact that they really didn't work hard for it, they just like spent a lot of time trying to get the 1% drop, right? Unless they earned it when they got it, whatever. So there was this whole idea of like the prestigeness and protect my prestigeness, okay? So this week, they announced the Mage Tower will not, or the appearances from the Mage Tower will not be obtainable in Legion Remix. And now everyone's freaking the fuck out because they're saying, well, I really wanted those and I can't get them. This is bullshit.
Hold on. You can go get those right now.
No,
right?
They're different. They're different.
Oh, they're different. They're recolors. Okay. You're right.
No, and remember, this one is about like the Mage Tower you can do right now gives you a tier set recolor thing. The Mage Tower in Legion gave you an artifact distinction, right? I remember that my Mage one, for example, was instead of my staff looking like a big powerful spell staff, it was a staff that had a sheep on it, right? So
do you have that?
I think I do. I don't remember.
That's cute.
So anyways, point is that you will not be able to get those. You'll not be able to get artifact weapon appearances from PvP, which was the one I was most excited for, because like the paladin ones look sick. And you won't be able to get seasonal PvP gear, which I think has never been the case. So anyways, long story short, there's like, this is the things that are off limits, and we're going to have a whole bunch more than you saw in Pandaria Remix and blah, 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 blah. Okay, Frank, so Scrap, you want to react immediately?
Yeah, I want to react immediately. That they're not saying they're not going to do a recolor. They're just saying you can't get the old ones.
Correct. They didn't say that. You're right.
I was like freaking out when I was like, dude, they're not even like, how hard is it to just put a different color on it? Like they give us a new color of bullshit all the time.
Okay,
like,
no, hold on, slow down.
Wow.
So you're not going to see the weapon, full stop, right?
Okay.
You will see maybe recolors of the other appearances from the artifact weapon, right?
You're not owed that weapon, I feel like. Like, you know what I mean? No, I'm not saying that it's like, but I'm just saying it's like getting mad about like, oh my God, you can't get this Glad mount ever again. It's like, yeah, that was the presumption. Like nobody thought this was coming back until now they're talking about Legion Remix and people are like getting excited. Like, oh, it might come back. Like you're not owed that. Like they're going to give you a bunch of cool recolors, a bunch of cool mounts. Don't just say like, well, I also want this. It's like, no, you're going to get what you get. Okay. I don't think this is the problem.
Here's the thing. Okay. So first off, any other thoughts on this on its own?
No.
They didn't do the challenge modes for MOP, so I could see them not doing the Mage Tower, but it would be cool if they did something Mage Tower-esque with different color appearances that aren't necessarily the same thing that are unique to this. I think that would be cool.
I agree. I'm a little disappointed, but at the same time, mine was more about the artifact weapon appearances from PvP because I liked those recolors, whatever. And this one doesn't seem... I'm confused about this because I feel like you can still earn these if you just get the honor rank, but whatever. Someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But here's the thing that I want to focus in on. It's the reaction to it, right? So everyone on Twitter, while Twitter's lost their damn mind, talking about how they want these and why the hell's Blizzard locking things behind.
The entitlement is shocking to me. Like, what?
This is the tweet I made. I effectively said, like, you guys get mad that Blizzard doesn't listen to you, and then the collector's bounty comes out and everyone goes, I can't believe they're letting people have my mount. So then they go, oh shit, okay, this is how they feel. We should not let them have the Mage Tower appearances. And then they say, hey, you can't have the Mage Tower appearances based on your, they didn't say it, but like based on your feedback, this is what we're gonna do. And everyone's like, how the fuck can you, how? Blizzard, what the fuck? You're not listening. It's like, what?
On one hand, at least they're letting us have the Violet Spellwing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I want to say no shot the same people are complaining about the prestige of their mounts and then also not getting this, but it's fucking WoW players. So, and on Twitter where people's brains are like goldfish. So if you are a person who complained about both, you need to have a hard look and a hard thought. Think about that.
Hard thought about that.
Yeah, hard thought about that.
Have a hard look.
And maybe think before you talk in general.
Nope. No, nobody does that.
Scrap,
we don't
coming
live in that
from
world
you,
anymore.
I think that is very good advice. You should think before you interrupt everyone else to talk.
Well, I mean, I'm often thinking when I'm talking, so that doesn't help.
Can I just say that you've gotten more and more deranged in your arguments that you make with us on Discord about
oh my god,
trying to mostly I think you're just trying to tilt me, right? But you just like are saying you are saying like the I would call it the WoW Twitter version of yourself, where you're just making arguments that are completely unhinged.
No, I'm not. I say I don't like stand on a hill if I'm not willing to die on a hill. So like there's things I care like irrationally about, and there's a lot of things that I throw out like I don't care about. You'll be shocked about what hill I'll die on. I'm still mad about the opening screen, the title screen.
My favorite was
we'll get to that later.
Banjo-Kazooie is fine, but so is a ride to the airport.
Hold on. I don't know what the attitude is about. I'm not judging anybody for liking Banjo-Kazooie and Mario Galaxy.
Can we hold on? Time out. Let's put some lore to this. Let's put some context to this lore.
There's a lot of lore to this.
I just want to tell you guys when the most offended Scrap has ever made me. Okay, I don't know what brought this up, but Scrap said Frank seems like the kind of guy that would ask for you to drive him to the airport, right?
Airport story.
And look, can I say that I am so offended by this because it is literally it couldn't be closer to being untrue.
I said that like 6 months ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, because you brought it up today.
Well,
after
I didn't
trashing Banjo-Kazooie.
Like, no, I didn't trash it, dude. Sometimes I just throw darts at the wall and see what sticks. And sometimes I hit people with like, "You're the kind of guy to X," because I think I'm like really clocking somebody, and it's normally really like, you ever just say that to your friend, like, "Oh, like you the kind of guy who does X or Y," right?
Oh my god.
No, because they would eviscerate me if I wasn't on base.
Well,
so
okay. Well, I was on base.
That would take a ride to the airport.
Yes, I do. I have no. And the funny thing was that Frank was like, "I have never been driven to the airport. I only drive myself. I only go." And I was like, "I don't think I've ever driven myself to the airport ever once. I've only ever."
He went on a rampage for like a long time about it, and then you brought it back up again.
Well, okay, so like, and here's where it connected back is that he was talking about the Donkey Kong game, big collectathon, like a Mario Galaxy type shtick, right?
No, you called Mario Odyssey a collectathon, and I was like, well, hold on a second. That's not really what it is.
Well, it's a 3D platforming collecting game, right?
What's a 3D platformer? Isn't that what all 3D platforms are? Is like collect the stars.
3D platforming is like a really broad category. Like Uncharted is a 3D platformer, technically. Yeah. Like there's like
aren't you collecting sweet artifacts to make your money?
It's a shooter. It's a shooting RPG, but it's also considered.
Now you just changed the genre. Well done.
No, I'm saying that I was trying to clarify that like this new Donkey Kong, Mario Galaxy, Mario Odyssey, and Banjo-Kazooie are all like the same kind of game. Gex, like that kind of game, right? Oh. Yeah, 3D platformers where you collect stuff. And I was saying I don't really like that kind of game. I never played them. It's not nostalgic for me. And then Frank was like, "Well, I don't." What did you say? You said like, "Oh, I don't really like a meter." I'm like, "You like Banjo-Kazooie. No. You're the kind of guy who would like Banjo-Kazooie."
I said, my response was, "I don't play it for the collection. I play it for the clever puzzles and I don't think Banjo-Kazooie, for example, is a good example of one that has clever puzzles, but like Mario Galaxy was like awesome because like it was mind-bending the idea of how the 3D platformer worked.
Hold on. No judgment, but you do like Banjo-Kazooie, right?
I loved Banjo-Kazooie when I was a kid.
I know. I clocked your ass.
No judgment, but judgment.
No, I think Banjo-Kazooie is a fine game. I think it's an iconic game. I think it's fine. I think it's like iconic of its genre. I don't think there's anything wrong with liking Banjo-Kazooie. It's a very good, well-made game. But just because I clock you doesn't mean it's an insult. You are the kind of guy who likes Banjo-Kazooie, and you can.
I wasn't upset with that. I was upset when you hit me with the drive you to the airport right behind it.
I was a little offended that you thought that people only like these games because of nostalgia and that they're not good games.
No, I did not say that. You're misreading my things. I was saying
you guys are twisting.
Sorry, you're twisting. Because I was saying I don't have nostalgia for those kinds of games, so I don't really like them. Which I guess you could twist around to say, oh, those games suck. Like, but I don't think those games suck. I think they're really good. They're not my thing. I also don't like Skyrim. But
you didn't like Zelda to Tears of the Kingdom either.
I didn't like Tears of the Kingdom. What's the drama you were talking about? Is it the Mage Tower thing? Where are we at?
Make sure you timestamp that, Scrap.
I didn't timestamp that. I didn't know we were gonna go off on it.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We've said our part. Go look in the mirror if you're the person that's complaining about both. But otherwise, my point was just going to be
the guy to complain about both.
My point was going to be based off because again, like while WoW Twitter is unhinged in its own way, so are the forums. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, where you go to complain is unhinged.
Yeah. So point being, like the devs can't win. I kind of want to keep advocating for not necessarily like supporting the devs in that way, but just like for the love of God, please use some common sense when you're complaining about this stuff and just give constructive feedback if that's what you want. You know,
that's literally what made me. Yeah.
And literally here's why. Because if you don't give constructive feedback and you continue to just tear the devs down, the good ones end up leaving. Scarizard, Patrick Scarizard Scarborough has left Blizzard Entertainment claiming burnout. Now, if you don't recall who he is, we actually talked about him on this podcast. He was the one that did the interview with Max and Dratnos talking about the Renown track. He was the one that introduced the idea of the Dinar Gate, the one that introduced the Dinars, that why we're taking them out, we want to reevaluate, blah, blah, blah. And of course that when, whatever. But yeah, he's left Blizzard. I guess posting memes on Twitter now, and he's just gonna try to recuperate. I kind of was like, damn, this sucks because everyone has said he's a legend and they wish he would stay. But
that trinket up there is legendary.
Which one?
The Grief Torch. I love the Grief Torch.
Yeah, Grief Torch.
It was great.
Stupid ass fire cat shooting fire out its ass.
You can blame him for it.
I loved it, dude.
Oh, fuck this guy. I'm glad he's
gone. But it's just a shame to see him go. So I just want to take a moment and acknowledge that it sucks. And, hopefully Blizzard continues to at least recruit some good people to replace the ones
I feel like they kind of screwed him over because they have this horrible Dinar Gate and they said, well, I mean, I don't know what happened, but they were like, go be the face of this and defend it. And then everybody hated him.
Well, no, he was like the precursor to that. Sorry, I was going to.
Okay.
Did he say anything about like a negative criticism, or was he just citing burnout?
Well, here's the post. It's been a very emotional day. I want to get it all out at once. Here it goes. I'm leaving Blizzard. Last day is the 25th. 4 years as far as I go. Really proud of what I got to contribute to this insane reality-defying project. Couldn't ask for a better team. I don't have anything lined up. There's no announcement of an announcement. This was just all for burnout. What's MH?
Mental
health.
health.
Oh, Jesus.
Mental health.
Oh, uh-oh.
Mental health reasons and needing to give myself a space to actually imagine a future not tied to patch schedule. So okay, there's actually something to be said about this, right? Because
that sounds like the pace was too breakneck for him.
We're getting to a point where, I mean, Midnight is going to be announced in just over a month. And that means that we will theoretically go 18, 19 months, maybe, give or take based on when the expansion comes out, where we'll go in the new patch cadence, where it's under 2 years per expansion and 6 months per season, we'll call it. And it's burning the fuck out of the developers. Is this a good or bad thing for us?
Do you think that the acquisition by Microsoft and all that stuff has changed the culture and has pushed them to do more with less, and all that stuff? That stuff kind of, I live in the corporate world, and that stuff kind of wrecks culture a little bit and makes it hard, and then you get burned out. You have to deal with burnout issues. I mean, I could see that from the outside, but I'm sure probably much worse on the inside.
I feel like they were already setting this cadence up before maybe they were doing it to appease to Microsoft, I don't know, but before Microsoft officially acquired them, they were kind of saying hey, we want to change the cadence and we want to get this stuff faster out to you.
Well,
I don't think the layoffs. Go on.
They got to shore up their operations for acquisition, so they look good, right?
Yeah.
You know, it sucks. You know, it sucks to see somebody have to go, but you know, mental health is important. So.
Maybe 2 months from now, he'll do a podcast. He'll spill the tea, you know, and maybe we'll know more. But
gosh, yes.
I feel like to your point, I think the layoffs didn't affect the dev team directly. It was like more of like the social media team that seemed to have gotten impacted by that. You know, like for just one of the examples, the person who develops like, or maybe like introduced the idea of the yearly roadmap was one of the people that was let go. So who knows if we'll ever see that again. So, you know, it's brutal, but at the end of the day, I really hope he finds something awesome, but we also find someone equally as awesome to help run the game, you know?
Yeah, and I think ever since they started releasing those roadmaps, not blaming it specifically, but it seems like they've been trying to keep more to a rigid schedule with how they date the patches, release them, to the point where, you know, we're getting patches that feel sometimes a little incomplete or buggy, and maybe they're just so stressed to try to get them out on time that just, you know, that's burning some of the guys out, and maybe this is a case of that.
They either need more time or more devs, like, because they've been putting out buggy patches for a while now.
If you work in game development, it's a slog anyway, man.
Yeah,
like, it's
no such thing
terrible...
as
They definitely take advantage of people. It's like, this is his dream job. He loved WoW and stuff, so they're just gonna like work him to the bone because they know he's there on passion. So they suck it all out of you.
I believe Scarizard used to work for Riot too a while ago. So I mean, if he's just been working on games like this his whole life, maybe he just wants something new. And
well, I heard Riot has a pretty good culture. Is Riot's the one behind League?
Yeah.
I've heard. I mean, granted, I don't know enough to stake my reputation on it, but I've heard that that they have a pretty healthy culture there. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know. They're farming cash over there.
Never worked there.
That's the reason why, is that they like they literally I remember reading about this that they had their MMO that they've been wanting to make for years now. But apparently they have so much cash that they can literally keep saying, no, it's not good, start over, and like they literally just throw everything away and start from scratch.
I feel like that's where Blizzard used to be, you know, at the beginning, where like they were known purely for just only banger games, and then just slowly that reputation started to fade, and it's there's way less people subbed.
Well, I still think they make, you know, banger games. What I can't understand is the fact that they have this subscription model that, let's just say for the sake of argument, brings in 2 to 3 million subscribers every month. That is an insane amount of cash flow compared to what Donkey Kong Bonanza's getting.
But I feel like the cost of running an MMO is probably more than like a League type of game.
Dude,
I don't know.
But League has their white whales to pay for that.
Then they got rid of one of their mobile apps. Overwatch is terrible.
Yeah, Overwatch.
Diablo is good.
Overwatch was an embarrassment.
Terrible.
Well, I know that Diablo.
Blizzard.
Huh?
Avowed was Activision, not Blizzard.
Oh, whatever. But like I know that Diablo was contentious. Like not everybody loved the new Diablo.
I think it's unfair though, because they were being overly critical, despite the fact that they loved the game. They were just, you know, it wasn't everything they wanted it to be. Because it was the fastest selling PC game of like all time at its time. You know.
It was, but like the new live action Lion King was also like the highest selling movie of all time, and it wasn't like
it wasn't. Wasn't close.
Look it up, Google it. It was like
Mufasa was not the scrap. No. It may have been the highest grossing movie of the year, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Look it up. It was some statistic like that.
Frank's the kind of guy to not like the Lion King movie, despite it being the highest grossing movie of the year.
In fairness, I did watch it and I didn't like it.
I've not seen either.
Completely unnecessary, but that's
all I'm saying is
that to like social network.
He's totally that kind of guy, but he told us that.
Right. Poll of the day in the comments: is Social Network a good or a bad movie? Going in.
No.
Sorry,
movie. No. I think everybody's thinking Social Network's a pretty good movie, but is it in your top 5 movies?
No,
it is in the Time 100. It is in Quentin Tarantino's greatest movie of the decade. Like, what are you talking about?
Anyways. Terrible movie. Anyway,
what I was trying to say is that just because it sold a lot of copies,
besmirching Aaron Sorkin and David Fincher, you fucking assholes.
And Overwatch 2 was an embarrassment. That game is completely dead because they killed it. And Overwatch 1 was like celebrated and everybody loved it. It was like a totally new spin on this kind of like old Team Fortress thing. Like nobody had really made a game like that in a while that was like good. Now they're making so many copies of Overwatch, and where's Overwatch? Absolutely nobody plays it because it's bad. It was bad quality.
That's not true.
So now they can't. That's not true. What's not true
Raven,
about that?
or not Raven, what was her name? That hunter that played with us way back when, her boyfriend.
I'm not saying nobody plays it, Frank. God damn it.
But that's
I'm exaggerating.
So,
I mean, compared to what a cultural like phenomenon, I want to say like games cultural phenomenon it was for a while. Like it was up there with like League and stuff as like terms of like esports, I feel like.
I bet more people still play StarCraft than Overwatch.
More people play
today.
StarCraft 1 than play StarCraft 2 because the Korean Peninsula runs that shit. Io, we cut you off. What's up, bud?
No, you're good. I was gonna say one last thing for being off topic. If Riot does ever release that MMO, are you guys gonna try it?
Fuck yeah, dude. I think it looks. I love their art style. I think it's very similar to the Blizzard art style, where it's like punchy, cartoony, and cool. I'll probably try it.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't suck, I think I'd go pretty hard on it.
I try.
I don't think I'm gonna go hard on it, but I'll try it.
I try all the MMOs that come out mostly, and like the Amazon one that came out. Y'all remember that?
I knew that was gonna fizzle out. Everybody was talking. Everybody in our Discord at the time was like going so insanely hard on it. Like, oh my god, it's a WoW killer and all this shit. In 2 weeks, nobody played it.
The second someone assigns it a WoW killer is its death sentence.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, like people say WoW killer, throwing all these things around with like the Star Wars one and what was that shooting one, Destiny and stuff like that. But like Final Fantasy 14, man, actually is like a competitor to WoW, and there hasn't been one of those for like a really long time, and now it's a pretty constant.
Final Fantasy 14 had its renaissance when Shadowlands was going on, and even then, I think the numbers don't compare.
Oh, I don't know if you guys
a bunch of weird people.
I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the grapevine, but OSRS, Old School RuneScape's making a comeback, baby.
Yeah, I've seen that. They had, at Tomorrowland, they had some DJ played like the RuneScape, I guess, song. I don't know.
Nice.
But yeah, it is having its own renaissance. You're right.
Dude, if they keep doing hardcore classic, I will keep playing it if they keep rebooting it. I have no problem with that.
If they next time they reboot, if they do OnlyFans, we gotta try to get.
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah!
I think we can because it seems like the barrier for entry was not super high to get in the first place, and I feel like after it's kind of like died down, and I think it'll be even lower, so we can get in.
Okay, let's keep moving. We are yapping literally to a point where we will have plenty to talk about in this episode.
Yeah, we have plenty to talk about.
Real quick, Scrap, you want to tell us about this banger of a track we're about to listen to?
But you can't play it because of copyright, right? I don't know how YouTube
No, it's on YouTube. I can do whatever the hell I want.
No, but I thought they can take our video down.
No.
Blizzard's not gonna.
You're promoting their music, dude. This is a banger right here, dude. I'm telling you.
I only listened to the first minute of it.
Yeah,
but
that's all you have to do. The first 30 seconds is a banger.
I mean, it's good because it's like we're gonna.
I got it way too loud.
Over and over, right, Lithian? Because we're gonna be wiping on the first phase over and over.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. We're gonna be progging, and I'm gonna have to hear Dimensius CS.
All right, sorry, I played it. You guys might have been talking. No one could have heard you, but
no, because I can't hear it like when you're playing.
Yeah, we can't hear it.
I love it.
Anyways, this is a banger of a track. It makes it seem very much like this is going to be an end of the world kind of event for us. However, Scrap, you're still a little skeptical.
It sounds sick. It sounds like Attack on Titan or something, which is kind of what I want. I want to be this tiny little dude attacking this giant thing. Now, the only visual they showed us is of us fighting it on the platform, and it cannot be.
That's just the first phase. That's just
okay. That's
phase.
Fine. That's fine, but if they're hyping it and they're going to put
phases,
that crazy fucking track to it, this guy better be the size of Dalaran, and I want to be able to see it. I don't want to just be
the size of Dalaran.
Bigger than Dalaran.
I want to be bigger than that.
It is. It's bigger than Dalaran. I'm just saying, I do not want to have my camera zoomed in on his little toes, and that's all I see the whole fight. This, if they're gonna make it big scale, they gotta keep.
We're gonna fly around Attack on Titan. We know we're gonna be.
We're gonna be flying around with our swords. Yeah. It's fine.
There's tons of examples of awesome high scale fights. Like if you think of like Shadow of the Colossus and stuff. I mean, that game is 20 fucking years old, and you're scaling.
Yeah, but it's an entirely different game.
I know, but I'm just saying
and you're climbing.
I'm saying visually, art direction wise, you can do it.
Has anyone seen the raid testing for the heroic version of this fight?
You don't see any, and there's no testing whatsoever.
Yeah, you don't see any testing for the last boss.
Oh,
dude.
how does Max know all the phases then?
They're reading.
They let
they're
him
reading.
see it.
No, they don't. He's just reading the journal.
Yeah.
Oh, I
You
thought
could
he said
look
they.
at-
I thought he said they did them.
No,
I don't think you can do. They don't ever do the last raid boss
Nope.
on PTR.
purposely.
I wonder
never
if I wonder if halfway through the fight we're gonna break the dark heart or whatever, and he's gonna become a weaker version.
You know what?
Oh.
I don't have a picture of it right now, but they did tease the midnight release, right? And in that teaser, there's a picture of what looks to be void things ascending onto Azeroth with what would arguably be the Silver Moon Silver Moon City's shadows in the like swirl of the typhoon or whatever we'll call it.
Yep.
So I mean, how do you guys predict this fight's gonna end? Do we lose? Do we, is it like, oh, Zalteth actually wanted this to happen so that she could open a black hole?
No,
Or?
they break
No, we
Silver
lose. We lose. The world goes dark, and it's midnight. It's fine.
I kind of hope that I kind of hope that they're just faking us out with the Zalteth is like, oh, she's gonna be on our side, and then it's gonna be at the end. She's like, dude, why did you trust me? I've been so clear that I've been evil. Like,
you get smacked in the face with a Zalteth toe.
Let's do some predictions.
I don't want her to be like a wooby, like, oh my god,
gave you my prediction.
sorry.
No, hold on.
Like I was bad, now I'm good. Like,
all right, let's do some odds, okay? So give me odd makers here. We're gonna let people make fake bets in the comments. What are the odds? So one out of whatever. The odds that we lose the fight. Any way of that looking, like we lose the fight and Dimensius takes
90%. 90% we lose.
Well, let's define that. What does losing mean? Maybe we kill him, but we lose Silver Moon City or something. We don't successfully do it.
I'll give you an okay. We whatever reason he survives, right? We don't successfully kill him, and now he's making his way to Azeroth, right? And so that's like part of the thing is like he's coming. And Midnight is about preparing for his arrival, kind of like a Galactus of the MCU.
But here's the thing: if they're gonna make this fight with this banger track, and that he's gonna be 3 times bigger than Dalaran, how are they gonna be more epic than that when he comes back? Like, I don't think you're going up from there. So I'm gonna say we defeat him, but there's a greater evil lurking.
No. There can't always be a greater evil every time.
That's the game, dude. There's always a greater evil every time.
No.
All right, so Lithian, you said 90%. Scrap, what's your percent?
Can I do 50-50? Is that lame?
Sure. No, that's fine.
I'll say 75%, but 75% in our favor. No, that we win.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say 20% that we lose. I don't think we're gonna lose this.
So
fight.
1 in 4 odds that if you were to make that bet, you'd win, right? Okay.
Yeah.
What are the odds that Zalteth survives?
Oh, 100%, dude. They love her toes.
They love her toes.
They're trying to do. I think what they're trying to do with Zalteth is what they want to do with Sylvanas, but like everybody hated Sylvanas, so.
What?
Oh, sorry. I was just saying I don't agree with that. I don't know if she's gonna live. I kind of like Flux's thing where he said that like, we came up with this idea that we're gonna like either defeat Dimensius or something's gonna happen, and then Illyrio's gonna do something to Zalteth as she's helping us, and then that might do something. That's kind of a cool thing, but I don't know if she's gonna survive because the first thing they revealed from this looks like a bunch of mini like these like little wraith dudes coming in from this portal above Silvermoon. And like you don't see Zalteth in anything.
Well, so she is as evident now from the campaign. She is not a part of the Void, royalty or whatever. People were suspecting she may be like a daughter of the Void Lords or whatever. She is actually an enemy of the Void, and so like I'm with you, Io. I think there's a good chance that like she is there trying to stop Dimensius because Dimensius wants to kill her. And he, at the very end of the fight, kills her, right? And we kind of like see for the first time ever fear in her eyes or something like that. And then again, Dimensius might be winning and is on his way, or maybe we kill him, but like it opens up a black hole, which is one of the theories that like now everything kind of comes out of the void. So what are your odds for that to happen? I ask you. That Zalteth is the death we see.
I would say like 55%. I'm still not 100% sold, but
so more likely that she dies than we lose.
I would say yeah.
Lithian, any thoughts?
Nope. I don't know.
He's got no.
I don't care to contribute.
No.
All right. What about Illyria dying?
Doesn't matter.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Is there for sure a death? Like, have they teased a death?
We're giving odds here.
Everybody's gonna die. It's fine.
The reason I don't think Ilaria is gonna die is because I think she's in that book that's coming out. So I think that that's like taking place before midnight and might take place after this. But also, I think Silvermoon's gonna be under attack. So there's gonna be her sister, and then everyone's pretty much rumored Sylvanas is coming back. So I think
hold on.
Yeah. I don't think they can't resolve Illyria without resolving Sylvanas, and they have like shelf Sylvanas. So I think they can't kill Illyria until they bring the Windrunner sisters is like a huge draw. They could do a whole patch. It's like, dude, the Windrunner return or something. They can't kill the main one. Well, give me odds then.
Give me a percent.
Yeah.
That Illyria dies 0% and that Xal'atath dies maybe 10%. I do not think they're gonna kill. They're not going to kill Xal'atath because we don't like her yet. Like,
I want them to all die.
Like, oh, we kill her, good, fuck her. Like, they're going to make us like her before they kill her.
Everybody dies, and then we go back to Shadowlands.
Okay. Oh my god, please! I'll go to Shadowlands.
So
my dreams.
0% from Scrap. Io, Lithian, any percents?
100%. Everybody dies.
Okay, so 1 out of 100 odds. Okay, Sylvanas returns for midnight. Actually, here, let's do it this way. Sylvanas is featured in the midnight trailer.
No, people do not. Sylvanas is a bad name right now. She's like Epstein. People don't like want to be associated with her.
Oh my god, dude.
I feel like Sylvanas is like emblematic of their
the Horde said that there's a file, and then they reported there's no file. We were lying.
You know what I mean, though? It's like I feel like she is emblematic of poor writing choices, and so like when they tied up her story, it was literally like they were sweeping it under the rug. They were like, oh my god, please, let's just move on from this quick, because like they knew that people didn't like it. Here's a better one. It's more like how they finished Game of Thrones, where they made Daenerys evil at the end, you know, and then everybody hated that, and they were like, oops. Like, I feel like that's what they did with Sylvanas, and so they're not gonna put her front and center. Hopefully they kind of like bring her back, and they're like, oh, look, like she's here, but she's not gonna be in the fucking cinematic. People don't like her. She's going to come back and defend.
She'll come back and defend Silvermoon
City. I guarantee she will, but she will not be like on the cover. She will not be in the trailer, because you know the wild Twitter reaction is going to be, oh, not her again, because it was so like all you remember is poor writing, right, Shadowlands writing.
Wow, poor writing. That's tough.
I would say like I would say probably 35% she'll be in the trailer. I think that would actually, I don't agree with Scrap. I think that would actually get people really hyped,
because they think they finally see her in a good direction.
Yeah, like if they see her like the end of the trailer, like everything's looking bad, and they're like, "What are we gonna do?" And Sylvanas just comes out, like just says some kind of catchphrase or something, and everyone's like, "Oh shit!" Or yeah.
Okay. I'm telling you, I think
they but slaves to this torment, and just comes out, and everyone's like, "Oh shit!"
They over milked her, and now she got no milk left. It's just that there's nothing left to her. I don't think that she has the fan draw that she used to have. That said, I do have her on my desk.
Let us know in the comments.
All right. The last one I want to talk about in this odds maker is related to the announcement trailer. Okay. So if you guys remember, I'll just quickly fast forward, Anduin and Silithus.
What happened to Thrall? Did Thrall ever show back up in War?
He was in the first season, sleeping just like this, right?
Yeah.
But
even he's on the load screen, like
he's old and tired.
No, but it's like Illyria and what's his name, Anduin, like fighting back to back, and Thrall's in the back there fighting, and Thrall has not been in the story at all. They just forgot about him, man.
He's tired, old guy. It's fine.
But why'd they put him? He's fighting in the load screen.
Well, there's an argument to be made that they kind of scrapped what the overall theme of or overall story was of this expansion when they came up with the World Soul Saga. But that isn't to say they're off the hook though for this scene from the trailer, because this part was really important and got us so hyped about what the hell did they do about that sword,
the sword.
In the middle of
I forgot
Silithus,
about that.
Right?
They forgot.
So
it's still there.
Odds that the sword makes some sort of appearance. I'm not going to say in the fight because that doesn't quite make sense, but like
he's gonna pick up the sword again.
I need a big sword to fight a big Dimensius.
Yeah, we need to pick up the sword. That would be sick.
It's like Thundercats, dude.
I'm gonna say 0%. I think this is gonna be when everything gets resolved.
So like Last Titan.
Yeah, I think this is because Chris Metzen kind of teased it. I'm pretty sure he kind of implied that Illidan's gonna have something to do with the sword. So,
nah, dude, I'm going 100% sword. Let's go.
Illidan,
100%.
I could see in the trailer. I could see
Of
Illidan in
this?
the trailer.
No,
People still
no.
love Illidan.
No,
of the
not
new
Midnight.
Oh
one.
my
Of Last
gosh,
Titan,
dude.
maybe
Midnight,
Midnight. Yeah.
yes. No, he's gonna be in Midnight. I think so.
Dude, we're pulling that sword and we're gonna
Yeah.
use it. It's gonna be awesome.
So
I'm excited.
I'm confused about the sword story because I know in Legion the sword got thrown into the thing, and then BFA the whole premise of the fight was that there was all this Azerite, was like the planet's like
That wasn't
bleeding
the premise
Azerite.
of the fight, but yeah, it was
Not
the
well,
catalyst.
I know it's I read
was
the
the
book
catalyst,
about it. So
yeah.
yeah, but it was the catalyst of the
You guys
fight.
hear
Like
that flex
someone
on me?
used
Oh,
it.
well, I read the book about it actually.
She
I
read the
about
book, bro.
But what I
Shut
remember
up.
is that there was Azerite bleeding out of the earth, and then the Horde and Alliance were fighting over it. Super powerful. Magni's like, don't use that. That's like super important, right? But then what happened with the Azerite? Is it still bleeding out of the earth? And people are just like, we're over it.
It is, but I think like we mined it all up. Kind of is like the argument.
We mined it all up. Okay, what's with the black blood? Is that the same thing?
You guys are gonna pull out the lore bros.
Black blood was
get schooled.
The blood of old gods. So I'm thinking. So
A
I think this is the blood of Cthulhu. But I think
is the blood of Azeroth.
Azeroth. Yeah.
Originally, it was rumored that the sword like stabbed Cthulhu underneath Silithus, and that's why. And then the blood like leaked into the underground, and that's why it was there.
Wait, didn't we kill Cthulhu? Isn't that guy dead?
No old gods ever truly die.
Who said that?
Go? Where do they go? Do they go?
No, I don't think that's true.
Frank killed Yogg-Strahd like 10 times last week.
No, we only fight like a small chasm of it. We never really fight like the full.
I mean, Shadow Priest used the old gods all the time. It's fine.
But the one that the Titans killed, what's his name? Yeshua or whatever. I don't know. The one that was in Mist of Pandaria, the old gods. That one was dead, and we used its heart. Or not we, whoever's name, I can't remember his name, but they used his heart, and like he was dead.
But the heart was still alive, so he could come back, maybe.
I don't know. Okay, let's get back to the sword.
Well, that's what I was just trying to get confused about. Like, what's 100%. The story tie into the sword anyway? Because it was that like, oh my god, it's Azeroth is bleeding, but now she's not anymore.
No. That's okay. The question of the sword comes down to one simple thing. Why did what's his name? The guy that Illidan trapped. Sargeras. Why did Sargeras stab the sword into the planet?
I thought it was an accident. I thought the cinematic he's kind of throwing it, and it just
no. If I remember correctly, he's like, "I will like you'll regret this," and then he like did it purposefully. Like he's like, "This is my."
Maybe he thought that was
this up to.
His geography was bad. He was like, "Dude, it's the middle of the desert. Nobody even goes there."
So, anyways, he did that as like let's say as a last ditch effort to like screw us over, right? Mm-hmm. And then arguably the Azerite, and he knew that the World Soul was in there, and so he's like hurting the World Soul. Yeah. Okay. The thing is though, I don't think there's going to be us pulling this out, right? I think it's either Sargeras that's going to pull this out, or maybe in the very rare chance that happens, Dimensius is going to pull it out, right? But
I feel like if someone pulls it out, it kind of is like Sargeras is like, "Oh, you're gonna regret this," and then it's like,
dude,
I put this sword here for Dimensius to pull out later. It's kind of lame.
No. I don't think that like that's the going back to the whole jailer 4D chess nonsense, right? Like that's not what they're saying.
Yeah.
I think Io said it like he's right. This is more of going to be a Last Titan thing, if we were to get a payoff for it. I was just curious if you thought that they set this up in the cinematic. Is this supposed to be this expansion solution to a problem? It sounds like you guys all agree. No, it's not.
You know what I really think is that they put that sword in there, and then they were like, "Now we have something. If we don't know what to do for a patch, we can just say, oh my god, we found out what the sword was about."
Dude, they pull the sword. They pull the sword. Dude pulls the sword, and it fractures the world. And now we have midnight.
Isn't that true? You're not supposed to pull out like stab if you're stabbed to pull out the blade because
Why are you asking me if that's true? Like, how would I know if that's true?
Have you never been stabbed before?
Hold on, time out. Let's address the disrespect there, right? One, I'm not asking you specifically. Two, I'm asking because it's kind of general knowledge to say like, hey, this is a good tip to survive being stabbed. And three, I wasn't asserting that you should know it. I was curious if you did.
I think I was more saying I know it as well as you do. That I don't think you're supposed to pull that out.
No, you're just being a huge asshole.
You've just never been stabbed before.
No, they're gonna cut it. They're gonna cut the world in half. I think it's gonna be 2 pizza slices, and in the middle we're gonna be like, oh my god,
slices?
there was a new an apple.
Yeah, she's flat earther.
All right, Io.
I think they just like wanted a cool trailer and didn't have anything for the expansion, so they were just like, "Oh, let's do this, get people hyped." And yeah, I mean, eventually they'll probably resolve it, but I don't think it was. I don't think anything this expansion or next expansion would probably be a longer term thing.
I think this is a World Soul Saga trailer, not a War Within trailer.
Yeah.
I had another thought. I thought that, remember when we saw the first like images of Halifal and Belladar, the big thing sticking out of the ceiling? I thought that we were eventually going to see the sword. Like when they first showed Belladar, we were like, oh, that's the tip of the sword. It's sticking out of the ceiling. It's causing all these problems or whatever. But then it was just like, that was just a crystal shoved in the ceiling that didn't have anything to do with the sword.
No, they explained it. They explained it in the Siren's Isles a little bit. It was like, this is
But unrelated. It was unrelated to the sword, is my point.
No, it was unrelated to the sword. And they even told told us in the beta cycle of it. They're like, the sword does not have anything to do with Belladar.
But it feels like it would be such an easy tie-in because like all of Halifal is like underground, right? And then there's this big ocean, and people talk about like, oh, there's like the Arathis are across the ocean, stuff like that. So it makes sense to me that like a patch could be, we go across this underground ocean, and then we find the Arathis, and their civilization is like impaled by a fucking sword, and they're all like corrupted and evil. Like because I feel like that it's kind of like the Arathis they're talking about. Oh yeah, they're across the ocean. It's like this big kind of like gun on the wall that we have two things that are kind of probably in the same area, but then they're gonna be like, oh, it's just another crystal shoved into the thing. Like, just put the sword through the damn earth. We're underground. You tease the sword. Why don't we see the other end of the sword? It doesn't make any fucking sense. They haven't connected those two things.
So, after that rant,
it's a whole rant.
That your point about Belladar, whatever, makes is another example though of where like where was this leading to? We didn't get a solution to that. I don't know if we necessarily will, given Midnight might have anything to do with it. So. I think there's a fair skepticism from the community that like the true story about this expansion was abandoned for arguably maybe the greater good. But there was so much cool lore, including the sword, that hasn't paid off. I know Io says that he thinks it'll pay off in the last Titan. I think that's a safe bet. But do we learn about Belladar ever again? Do we figure out what the hell happens to the other Nerubians now that they don't have a queen, and are they
the Arathis too?
And the Arathis, yeah. I think the Arathis are going to come after the World Soul Saga. I think that's.
Well, they're presumably underground also.
No, they're not. Like, there's no evidence to suggest that they're underground. Scrap. That was another thing I was like, what are you talking about?
Am I confused? Well, I thought like
they were sailing across the oceans on the surface. And then they saw a blinding light, and then they were teleported to Belladar.
I thought there were more Arathis besides the Halifal one. I thought there were other ones also.
No.
That's all the Arathis are in Halifal.
Well, there may be other ones, but no one's talked about that.
Okay, maybe I missed that. In the comments, let me know if I made it up or not. But
it was fun though.
What?
It's fun is that, going into this, we've had 2 patches this expansion. We're going into this last one. This seems to be kind of the biggest one of the 3 so far, and we still don't quite know where the story's going. And I think that's cool that we can speculate, but not necessarily know, like, are we going to beat this big guy? Is he going to be the thing we fight? Is beating him going to trigger something else to happen? Is Altath going to try? Like, there's so many questions, and hopefully it's satisfying.
The truth is, if we didn't get those spoilers from the icons in the beta or whatever it was that showed us the Goblin raid one and the Ethereal raid, like we talked about this on the podcast way back when, we wouldn't have had a single idea that they're going to undermine, or well, maybe a little bit, like just a little light teasing. We wouldn't have had a single idea that we were going to Koresh and all that stuff. I feel like if we hadn't had those spoilers, we would all been like, "Oh, this is an exciting ride." Because with Shadowlands as an example, it was like clear we're just staying in Shadowlands and we're going to the mall next time, and we learned about the first ones, but we kind of like learned about that through the cinematic. Like he was talking about unraveling us through the first ones, and even with Dragonflight, like things kind of like stayed centered in very clearly what was going to happen. But these are like out of left field areas.
But I think. This bringing up the sword again, which again I forgot, like, and we were talking about this at the beginning of War Within when I was really worried about it and kind of dooming about it. I was like, I don't know what this is supposed to be about. I feel like there's no clear like thing this is about. And I think now that we're deep into War Within, they've done good with it. Like I think Undermine standalone is really good. I think Halifal and some like stories and stuff are really good, but it does have this generally scrapped together feeling of like disjointedness, and like not a clear path. Now, do I think they did a good job with it? Like knowing or suspecting that they had to rewrite the story and just kind of throw something together. I think they probably did the best they could with it, but you can't say that like it doesn't have that feeling. I like honestly like Goblin Raid, like people have been talking about Goblin Raid forever. And I think they were just like, God, how are we gonna fill this out? It's like, let's just figure out a way to put the Goblin Raid in here. And like Ethereal Raid, it's like everybody knows about the Ethereals. This is already stuff they have. And they're just like, we can throw the Ethereal Raid. People have been talking about that. Like, and I think they try to kind of like connected things. They're like, hey, Undermine, it makes sense underground. We'll connect it here. Like, we'll just make the you know, the what do you call it? The MacGuffin like ends up in Undermine, and then we have to like get it. But that doesn't really have anything to do with the goblins. They could have there could have been any MacGuffin. There could have been a Dragonflight MacGuffin that takes us to Undermine. Could have been a Shadowlands MacGuffin that takes us to Undermine. But it does. I think that this is especially coming back to the sword. It's like it kind of reveals that at one point they had to rewrite the story in a panic and rewrite the patches in a panic and be like, how can we connect this? Hopefully that means that the next two are more planned out and are going to have more smooth transitions like Shadowlands and Dragonflight. Because I do prefer that storytelling. I prefer like having an idea where we're going, you know, personally. I don't like the twists.
I think that the first phase of this one was a lot more building stuff up that they're going to play off later. I think we'll probably see more Earthen and Helifal and Arathi stuff later on. And then the second one makes sense in the sense that she got Galliowix to fix the Dark Heart, which, I mean, yeah, you're right. It is just MacGuffin in Undermine, but I mean, at least there was a narrative reason for it. And then obviously this is the payoff of all that is something, it got stolen and now this is what's happening. But I also think too, I think the expansions, the name of the expansions now are kind of just the name of the first phase of the story. And then you get like your Undermine or Ghost of Koresh. That's kind of like the mini stories that come out throughout the rest of it. So I think you can't really like tie it all together that way because it seems like it's a lot bigger built around the World Soul Saga that they're trying to tell a bigger story. And sometimes you're going to have these little bits where it's like it's not going to pay off right now, but it's going to pay off in the future.
I hope the lore bros come out and correct all of you.
Well,
I would love that.
Here's
Honestly,
the thing.
I want to know more about the lore.
This is a good point. This is a good point because we're going to go to Silvermoon, theoretically, in Midnight. We're going to go to Northrend in The Last Titan. But there's not new continents to discover. You know, like they're going to have to kind of either send us back to, you know, just
blow
as an
everything
example,
up.
Hellfall, or we're going to like, you know, there's not, we can't stay in Silvermoon the entire expansion. So there are rumors that like maybe they kind of expand on that area that because there's some zones that they never made as part of BC way back when. Sure, but there's not like a huge lore dump that's going to happen inside those that are going to make us all like lose our mind. So, you know, the question is, do they start going back to old world stuff and saying, okay, now we're going back to Hellfall to finish Belladar, or we're going back to Selthis to finish the sword?
Did it with the one delve going back to the Azure Vault, so it seems like they're definitely not against using their thing. And I also, real quick, I just want to bring up, I forgot that also Ashara is supposed to come back at some point, so it's going to be interesting to see if that plays into this at all.
Cool. She will at some point. Well, I will say, like, as far as design of, like, we have to go back, I definitely get a little eye rolly of, like, oh, we found another continent. It's like, okay, Northrend, obviously, that was in the story already. Like, so, and Pandaria, that was already in, like, Warcraft. And then we also have, like, the Zandalari are, like, they must live somewhere, so this is where they live. But, like, the Broken Isles, like, from Legion, it kind of felt arbitrary. It's like, oh, yeah, there's just, like, a couple islands over here that no one's ever seen.
A bunch of races too, by the way, that we've never interacted with.
Have to live here like that. Have never had characters.
Hold on. Suramar was not like just some random. Like we knew about Suramar. We knew about the Tomb of Sargeras. It was always there.
Yeah, it's just like a couple islands. Like I guess there's some tie-in sort of thing, but the tie-ins are always like, I don't know, like it's like, oh, and especially with War Within, it's like another island. Whatever, like I don't want the next expansion to be like, oh, found another island, you know, like sort of thing. I'm getting a little tired of that.
Another island.
It just seems like, girl, we have mages and shit. People should know where all the islands are by now.
In theory, they've just never been there.
But I want to go
haven't had
there.
a
I have a
reason.
dragon who can fly. Like, I want to go there. Like, I liked in original World of Warcraft where it's like, dog, this is the world, like, pretty much. And it's like, oh, there's like a huge maelstrom, so you can't go through the ocean and like go to Northrend or whatever. That made sense to me. But now I can fly all over the
Maelstrom
fucking
was nowhere
continent.
close to North.
No, but what I'm saying is it made sense to me that like you couldn't like travel the ocean to like
yeah,
go
you
to
could go from
Northern
Booty Bay
Pandaria.
to Ratchet,
Yeah, they had a path. They
which
knew how to
literally
navigate
goes
around
right
the.
by the Maelstrom.
No, I'm just saying it made sense to me that they like knew how to navigate some places, but like maybe other places are like the ocean's really treacherous, whatever. But now we have all this technology, all these portals, all this shit. I'm sick of them finding like a new island. What I would try to say is like I would much prefer like something more like Cataclysm. Now, of course, there were plenty of new zones in Cataclysm, but like where it's like, oh, we go back and like check out the Barrens, like got cut in half. Awesome. I'll run around cut in half.
Wailing Caverns. That's what she's advocating for.
Like I would really down for Wailing Caverns. Yeah,
but bring it back.
Use the stuff we have. We have so much world, so many expansions, so many little islands that we've already discovered.
I want them to destroy it all. Pull the sword out, destroy the entire world, scorch earth, start over. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Let's go.
I'm fine with that.
Start over, by the way.
As long as there's a fragmented Barrens with a Wailing Cavern just floating in space.
Yeah, no,
and
we're gonna.
All the dinosaurs have astronaut helmets. And
you just hop to it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you just hop to it. Something like that.
All right. You guys ready to rapid fire? And by the way, no one thinks the sword's going to play at the end of the expansion, yeah?
I think they forgot about this shit, dude.
No, dude. I think they're going to pull the sword out, but you know.
No, but at the end of the expansion or at the end of the saga?
At the end of the expansion.
Oh, okay. All right.
You think Dimensius is going to pull this out?
Yeah, dude. 100%. Let's go.
Okay. So
it's a big sword with a big dude.
Lithian's saying 1-to-1 odds. Everyone else is saying 1-to-100 odds. Okay.
Dude, you guys don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, Dimensius not that big. We saw a picture of him. He was like a couple Dalarans high. He wasn't high enough to.
Yeah, he's like up to here. He's just up to
here. He's like up to there.
It's fine. He'll get bigger. It's okay.
Okay. Let's go through some rapid fire news. So does anyone know the story of the Delves and Brann, like each season? Like he's lost something? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I didn't know there's a fucking Delves story.
He lost his hat.
He lost his hat this season.
That's cute.
Next season, he's lost all his clothes. Just wanted to point that out.
We get his hat. We get his hat back, but now he doesn't have any clothes, so that's fine.
Oh, it's cute. I didn't know there was a Delves story. I like it.
Okay.
We had some people join our Discord this week that do another podcast, and I got to apologize because I should be shouting them out here, but I don't remember the name of it.
Thrall's Balls.
What? Oh yeah, Thrall's Balls. Is that what it's called? It's on Spotify.
Thrall's Balls. Yeah.
Thank you, Scrap, for saving me there. And they told us they're like, yeah, we're the mole people that the Podyssey keeps talking about because like one of us only does delves, and all I could think about was like, oh man, this is the person that's out there saving Bronn's clothes. So I just wanted to pull that out and say that's again, it's like a nice flavorful touch. But do you guys think who do you think is going to be the next delver for the Midnight expansion?
No more delves. Let's go back to what the hell is it called?
No more delves.
Prison Torghast.
Tazavesh. Torghast.
Yeah, I want Torghast. No more delves. Please,
dude, delves.
No delves.
They're never gonna die now. They're gonna live forever.
I do wonder if they'll do like delves, but in a different theming, because I think War Within delves made sense for that theme wise. But
like
I wonder
underground versus something else. You mean?
Yeah, like maybe
more delves.
Maybe if they wanted to, they could do like a Visions or something like that, or do some other kind of version of delves, but the same kind of concept where it's the solo content that gets you the veteran champion gear, whatever.
Hold on. Let me cook. So let's do a delve, but let's have these like special powers you might get halfway through. It's kind of like roguelike, like procedurally generated enemies and stuff, maybe. Yeah, it has like different levels to it.
Okay.
I wonder where we're going.
Do you think that they might, because they might say, okay, we like they've heard the feedback now, they've seen delves in full swing, and they go, okay, well, we're not going to do those changes in mid expansion, but maybe they come into Midnight and say, hey, delves, you guys seem to like the idea of them, but there's something missing. What if, because they do have power-ups in delves, they're just like few and far between, and they're not that exciting.
Yeah, but you don't get to choose between them, and they're always just like a random, like, I don't even look at them, you just click on them.
Adventure.
So maybe
and they're not fun either.
Maybe they make like a not an unlimited, like, because Torghast had the unlimited, like you could scale it as high as you wanted. And maybe they just have like a leaderboard.
Way later.
Sure, but maybe they have a leaderboard for delves, because I think the leaderboard would bring a lot of attention to competitiveness for it.
Yeah.
Same way that like the IO and pushing that is competitive. But I don't think delves necessarily have to be renamed to and introduce the idea that they could be going outside, right? like you might walk through a cave and then open up to an area that is like, you know, encased a canyon area or whatever, and still see the skybox. And we already talked about the new delve coming in season 3 is going to be inside the Violet Hold or whatever it's called, not Violet Hold, but
Azure Vaults.
Azure Vaults. Thank you. So like I definitely think that they could, you know, we'll probably have a delve inside Silvermoon City, and it's like you have to go through the houses.
You'll be able to pull your car out and use the drive mechanics.
Oh, can we keep the car? I want the car to come back in some way.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's a good point.
Honestly, what they should do, kind of like they've done in these new patches, there's still like dragon flying races, and you can still get like a little dumb title you're never gonna use for like getting gold in all of them. Just like every new area, just put 2 car races, just 2. You know, just do 2 dragon flying races, 2 car races.
The reason why they don't is because they'd have to make flat areas for that, I think.
Well, yeah, but I feel like it shouldn't be hard to make. You should have like some flat areas. Just put a fucking 8.
Plenty of room in Duratire for them to put an Orgrimmar Speedway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they can just put it in an old zone. Like just I'm sure there's enough room in the Barrens or Mulgore or something.
They can instance anything. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the car is a great feature that I'd be sad to see.
Rapid fire, by the way.
Well, yeah.
If they keep
Scrap wants to talk about delves and cars.
If they keep delves, I'll assume it's always going to be Brann though, because he's the guy. Maybe Harrison Jones.
Okay, they did say it was going to be a new guy every season, and then they decided to stick to it. Maybe they'll stick to it. Well, decided to stick to it again.
Just find his clothes. It's fine.
Yeah, it's like it's bronze, but with no clothes.
All right. So you guys remember that? What was it? The 30th anniversary of WoW event.
Yeah.
You remember like what was the big hoopla that they gave the American audience and the European audience of celebrating that? Did they do anything fun or special?
Oh, I know where you're getting to.
PAX East, I think.
Yeah, but like what like they had that like VR system that you could ride, the Escape from Dalaran, that no one got to try except for like Taliesin and Evatail.
Wow.
Why didn't we get this shit?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I saw this on TikTok. Which is crazy.
Because it's
this is insane.
We don't have drones in the United States, do we?
But the culture out there for video
games
use them for the
like Super Bowl.
This are so different. We do have drones like this. Don't be silly.
I never seen it. Oh, Deltath!
Is it a drone projecting lasers?
No toes, by the way, against the law in China.
No, I like her as a sword. I want her to hang out.
The culture around video games out there is a lot different than it is out here.
I don't disagree.
Oh, that's cool.
Dude,
I have that mount?
This portal is insane. Like, imagine seeing that and you didn't know what was going on. It's
dude, if I saw that in WoW, I would be like, whoa.
Now this is sped up, right? Like this is a time lapse, but still
really cool.
That's pretty epic.
Why didn't they do this? It's been so. Anyways,
we can enjoy it. We just have to watch it on YouTube.
Know if you had it on your rundown, but did you see those servers they're launching to China, the classic anniversary ones?
Yeah, it's like what do they call it? They called it the
time. It's like it's not time walking, but it's something like that.
Time sharding or something like that.
Yeah, those seem cool. Like it'd be cool to do like all the first 3 expansion raids, and then be able to kind of like mix and match the gear and make like a super build. That seems like that's really cool.
So just so anyone doesn't know, because the Chinese servers were down because of the NetEase fight or whatever, the Chinese players missed out on BC, Wrath, and Cataclysm. Is that right?
I don't know.
I think that's right.
I believe so. They just got Wrath recently, but that came out for us like 2 years ago.
I think even longer now at that point. But anyways, so Blizzard, I guess, to make it up to the Chinese players, is going to do this time chasing thing, whatever, where everyone will like have the ability to level up to level 80, I think it was, but all 3 expansions will be active at the same time. So you could literally be doing, Serpent Shrine Cavern or the Ice Crown dungeons or the Cataclysm dungeons. And they'll all equally gear your tunes. So you have like essentially 3 times the gear. I don't know how they're going to handle the patches. I think they're just releasing it all at once and saying go and just have fun.
Go crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of like faded raids, I guess. Every week there's going to be a new raid you can do, or a new couple raids.
Maybe, yeah. Which is good. Like, I guess it's nice that they're like catching them up to enjoy the stuff that they missed out on because of that conflict. But but yeah, it's going to be a big deal for them because I think this is like a huge sub magnet for not only NetEase, of course, because they're the ones who get the initial pay, but Blizzard as well. I think this is going to like boost their subscriptions easily by 1 million. I mean, as you said, Lithian, there's such a big market out there. So that's cool. I just wish I got drones in the States. Yeah. I would even accept it if they did it in Europe because, maybe Europe plays more than the States, but damn.
We had the 4th of July. My friend got illegal fireworks from North Carolina, South Carolina, wherever the hell they do them.
Gosh.
And we flew one right at a tree. That's what we did for 4th of July. By accident.
All right, so that's the terms of services we've already broken, and now she's breaking the law.
No, I'm just saying that's the level of fireworks I'm kind of awed by. It's just like a mortar that we accidentally shoot into a tree. Like I was like, whoa!
Come to the Midwest where no fireworks are illegal, and you could just shoot off whatever.
Well, it's not really like enforced here. Like my friend who brought them was a cop. So.
Oh my god!
just
dox everybody.
All right. Anyways, let's move on from Scrap's admission of guilt. Okay. We are 3 weeks, right? No, I guess it's best to say 4 weeks away from the launch of the season, not the launch of the patch. Have you guys decided on what your mains are going to be?
Yeah, I'm gonna main Survival Hunter, and I'm gonna definitely play Frost DK this season. I'm saying it now. I'm not gonna back off of it. The last time I played Frost DK, I mained it in Cataclysm, like the whole thing. But the last time I played it, I told Lithian and said, never ever let me play Frost DK again. I hate it. It sucks. It's terrible. But then I was getting mounts on it, and like all the spell effects, they're just like so cool.
They have new spell effects in the patch.
I know. Oh, I know. It's everything's gonna be at Frost DK. I'm gonna give it a real try this time. I didn't really give it a try last time, not a good one. So we'll see.
All right, Lithian.
I'm playing Dev Evoker as a main.
and tank of the month, right?
The tank of the month's probably gonna be Vengeance, actually.
A Prot Warrior.
so you're calling now Vengeance is gonna stay meta.
I think it's especially because of the kiting.
I think they're purposefully not going to change anything with Vengeance. I would love to see them nerf it to the ground because I'm tired of Vengeance, but that's what I'll play if it's still meta.
Your prediction is that they're going to have the 3rd spec, and so they want everyone to play Demon Hunter.
There's a whole thing. They're gonna have a 3rd Demon Hunter spec, and they're gonna do some cool stuff. You just don't know about it yet.
You don't think it's just gonna be a recolor like they've done with stuff in the past?
A recolor.
Like where you can get a spell effect. Yeah, like a void form type thing.
No.
You don't think so? Not at all. What are the odds?
100%. They're gonna fill a gap.
Okay, 100%.
Here's the problem with AUG. They either have to add more support classes or they need to get rid of it. And if they make AUG a tank, I'll fucking play that shit.
They're waffling on AUG though. I think they might. I think it would be so destabilizing if they added another AUG-like class, because it seems like they're trying to kill AUG, but now they're kind of waffling on it. Like, AUG's not terrible now.
I'm also
put this in Lithian's curious.
Yeah, it is my curious. Yeah. I'm also probably gonna play Resto Druid, but that's way down.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
All right, Io.
So tentatively for main, we'll say Holy Paladin. I think there might be a chance I switch depending on what the raid needs, but I think there's probably a high chance I'm just going to play Holy Paladin again.
I hear Miss Weaver's supposed to be mega raid healer though.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm sure we wouldn't mind having multiple of those, so that'd be cool. So yeah, either Paladin or Mistweaver or Prez Evoker, I think were like my 3.
What about your alt?
So the MDL raids, I'm going to do Frost Mage. And
I thought you were doing Arcane Mage.
He never said that.
No.
Oh, I thought I mixed up.
Frost.
I thought you said Arcane.
No, he's always said Frost.
And then I do have a Frost DK that I do play that I was playing a bit this season, so there's a chance I might play some of that, especially if it's supposed to be good. But I think I'm gonna wait and see to something we might talk about later. A little contest we might do, so I might wait to see what a 3rd alt might look like.
We'll talk about that in just a second.
You're in on the contest, Io?
That's random. That's random. You don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah. Well, he's like, he's gonna put 100K. So I picture Io, he's gonna put 100k in, he spins the wheel and he gets like survival and he's like, yeah, just have my 100k, I'm not doing
it. I've already seen how this plays out. As long as I commit and at least do like a week of it, I'll probably outlast like half.
No, Io, that's the thing, is that I do not want to go hard on this game.
Don't
we'll
talk about the game yet.
No, the game is later.
Okay, we'll get into it later.
Right,
we're running out of time to get into it.
I'm gonna play prop paladin. I'm a little curious about brew, but I just don't think so. I love the utility on prot. I'm worried about getting deleted, as Ioski has already seen on the PTR happening. I'm going to play Frank. I can never not play Frank. I think I'm going to play my Shaman again.
Oh, God. You're going to play like 12 characters?
Shaman?
You know I always do.
But you like never get that Shaman up there.
He
pulls
it out.
Season 1 he played it quite a bit.
In season 1 you got it like up to snuff, like up to the key level we were doing?
Yeah. I was like probably one key behind the push key.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Can I tell you, I finally leveled my Druid. No thank you, Guardian Druid. That is the most boring fucking tank ever.
Guardian Druid's awesome. All you do is like swipe an Iron Fur.
I am
if I ever
curious.
tank, that's what I'm gonna play.
I am curious. Vengeance Demon Hunter. I did level that, and it is pretty fun. But again, I think the utility.
It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good.
Anyone curious about Shadow with the changes?
Yeah, I'd love to play Shadow Priest, but they are gonna nerf it to the ground.
They are gonna nerf it to the ground. All right, what are you never going to play, no matter if it's meta or not? Like, what are the
Just
specs?
stack
Like?
the rest in there for me, like
Holy Priest. I'll never
like,
play.
what's one that if you got rolled on the spinner scrap, you say,
if I veto, can I pick a class or?
Yeah,
a
what's
spec?
your veto? What's your veto?
Is it class or spec? Do I have to pick one spec or can I veto a whole?
Spec.
Okay, spec.
Talking?
Low key, I kind of want to say Aflock is like obvious, but Shadow Priest also scares me. But I'd have to probably put Aflock.
Okay.
I hate it.
Lithium. Whatever. What would you land on the spinner and say, "Fuck, I'm out"?
Yeah. What are you vetoing on the spinner?
Like Fury Warrior for sure. Because
dude, Fury Warrior is the best pick because it's so easy.
It's
never in my life.
Warriors don't get invited into groups. Remember, Scrap?
Yeah, but you do your own key if you're a Fury Warrior. That's just what you have to do. It does. I will say it does suck to have two-handers like Frank. You're talking about like, where the two-hander is like double the cost of everything, like upgrades.
Double that.
Stuff. Well, it is. If you have two-handers, it sucks.
You don't do double the damage.
No, you don't. Yeah, that's what. First, Fury just sucks. Like it's just a resource hog, like to buying into it because it's like you just take twice as long to get your two-handers together when everybody else just has like two one-handers, like reasonable people, or one two-hander or one-hander. Like no, like you're fucked. That's the only thing that sucks about Fury.
All right, Io.
There's probably for the contest. There's nothing I'm gonna say. Oh, I'm not gonna play that because that's not the.
All right,
point
but what
of the
would you
contest.
cry?
But
no, you can pick one. Come on now.
I would say like I probably wouldn't want to play like a subtlety rogue. I think that'd probably be a little over my head. People are always like, oh, if they mess up their opener one time, like it's gonna fuck everything up. So I would.
Not if you do one button. I'm gonna do one button also with this game. I'm not gonna learn it. All I have to do is clear 10s. I swear to God, you guys are gonna drop out like flies.
I think if I got feral, I would say I'm pissed about that.
I love feral.
Feral's simple too. It's like
it's not simple. What are you talking about?
I'm just so anti, and I don't know why. Don't come after me. I just am anti-druid. I don't know why. All right, let's talk about this game that you guys have alluded to 16,000 times. Okay, so we've talked about it in our Discord, and we're like, hey, look, we obviously we love playing this game, and we play it all the damn time, but we should make it a little more interesting. I think Io, was this your idea initially?
I don't.
Hold on. This was me and Phoenix's idea.
It was Flux's. It was
Flux's idea.
Give me a second.
Sit down. Sit down.
No, you sit down. Me and Phoenix, 2 seasons ago, or maybe even 3, we had this idea to spin on a wheel and have an IO contest, and then we just neither.
No, you had the idea to spin on a wheel
afterwards.
What?
Go ahead.
Finish
it up. Finish it up.
I just want to say that we started the game. We're gonna roll on a wheel. We're gonna play the same class spec and see who got the highest IO. Now we rolled Fire Mage, and then I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. And Phoenix kind of leveled his, and I've kind of been leveling mine. But I just like like it was really fun to spin the wheel. But I was over it.
Here's why I'm going to take all the credit away from you. You're the person that's sitting there saying like, hey, I once tossed a dinner plate to someone and I invented the Frisbee as a result, right? You want the credit for the Frisbee. Sit
you
down.
Can't say that
shut
the
up.
game came out of your head out of nowhere. The game is clearly inspired by me and Phoenix's game.
No, it wasn't, because you guys were just, well, first off, you didn't play the game. You just spun the wheel and then quit.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about the game a lot.
Hey, sit down.
Oh my god.
All right. Anyways, so the way it works is it's 100,000 gold buy-in. All right. Whoever wins, and the winner will be determined. We're kind of still working through this, but the winner will be determined by being able to get your IO the highest without any of your friends in the group with you. So you have to plug the entire thing by yourself. That isn't to say you can't run your own keys, like Trap pointed out, though. We're trying to decide the timeline. Like, do we start this for the whole season? Do we wait till maybe like the end of the raid? Do we wait till maybe 11.5 or 12, whatever, 0.5? Do we make it the last 4 weeks of the expansion? We don't know yet. We're still working that out. But I figured, do you guys still want to do a pretend play spin, since we're not officially in it yet? But
I am vouching for the 0.5 because I don't want, like, I'm gonna have a lot to do when the raid comes out, and I don't want to burn out on it. Like, I'd rather, especially at a 0.5 where we're kind of like done with the raid and I'm kind of over it. It'd be good to get a spark excitement.
But here's the problem.
What?
Your logic is flawed, because you don't have to play it until you want to play it.
But I don't.
Whether
I don't
Flux starts at day 1 and you start at day 400 doesn't matter, because.
But I don't want to be playing it by myself. I want to play it when everybody else is playing it.
Okay. That's a fair assessment, at least. Okay.
Yeah.
Who wants to spin first? Again, this is not binding. We're just doing it for fun.
Trial. Unless I decide it is.
Are we if we don't start it at the beginning of the season, are we still starting from level 1 when we start it, or
I don't want to do that.
Nobody want to do that. Also, like, Lithian has all level 80 characters, so it doesn't make sense for him to make a new one. Like, I'm probably gonna have to create a level 1 just because I have like no characters, but like I don't have a problem with that. Super easy to get.
Also, why make this a pretend spin of the wheel? Why not make this be the real thing?
I'm happy to do that.
Hold on, because I haven't put 100K in yet. I might change my mind.
we have to. First of all, we need to build the rules, and we have to document the rules for Scrap, because she'll cheat.
She cheats.
Yeah, we have to have the rules written before we spin the wheel. Actually.
Yeah, and then. Not only that, all the people that want to buy into this, I think we should do like a stream with everybody, and we all spin and learn.
Maybe we'll do it as part of the episode. We'll have everyone in here and we'll do it all together. Okay, so we're not going to spin it then. We're just going to leave it be. This is what the ominous spinner will look like. I will say, though, we are looking to you guys in the comments to tell us some rules we should apply, or any cool, fun things you can think of to make this more interesting / fun. I think it'll be pretty wild, and we will have a lot of fun doing it. And of course, we'll stream it as we go. This will also fill the void of our science experiment, because we can start documenting. I'm going to ask for tons of data from everyone playing. I want everything logged. I want to be able to see how many, because we're gonna get the add-on that will tell how many like no's you get before you get your first yes kind of stuff. I want all that part of the rules, so that we can get a ton of data to say, this class was harder, or this was, I don't have a hero, so I don't get in, blah, 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 stuff like that. So that'll be our new...
Just opinion thing. I think we should, like Lithian said, get everybody together, everybody buy in. We find a time that everybody spins the wheel at the same time. So we all know who's playing what and stuff.
I agree,
And then I think that it should kick off at a 0.5. That way I can level a character to 80 beforehand. Like,
but you don't know what character.
No. Like, I'll have spun the wheel. Then,
but then can they not do anything on that character until the 0.5?
Yeah, you can't do anything. You can level it to 80.
So if I get enhancement as an example, you're telling me that I will not be able to play my enhancement until 0.5. You're shutting them down.
Yes, shutting it down.
Shut it down, Frank.
Shut it down. No gearing. No 10s for the week. No nothing. It's just like, you just know what it is. You can get your character to 80, because it would be nice to not have to start level 1 whenever it's starting at level 80.
All right, well, that'll be coming in a future podcast. Hopefully, maybe by the next episode, we'll have this all
let's record it, and then we can insert it into the episode. We say, here's some footage from last week.
It'll be fun.
All right, well, let's end things on a question of the week. This week saw the reversion of the Mystic Touch buff to monks. Okay, so just for those who are out of the loop, Mystic Touch has a 5% increased physical damage buff that it can apply to anything you hit. And they buffed it to 8%, and people lost their mind. I think there were good arguments as to why, because the argument was effectively, if you are being balanced based on raid data, which is what everyone argues Blizzard does, and you are always going to have a monk in the raid, theoretically. When you're not in a raid, i.e. Mythic Plus, and you don't have a monk, you're always going to be performing 8% off of what you're supposed to be, right? Based off what your tuning is. There's arguments again that like, okay, well, the same problem applies to casters when they don't have a VDH or something in the group, but when they're meta, it's kind of hard to have that argument. But anyways, so they reverted it. They went back to 5%. My question for you this week is, should raid buffs exist anymore?
Isn't that hard for them to just say it's 8% raid and 5% every other time? Why can't they just do that?
No, because you'd be missing it all together. Like that's argument. No. That's the argument of the physical comp to begin with.
Tettle's got it nerfed anyway, but it's fine.
Tettles.
He did not get it nerfed. He was definitely 100%. Not the most vocal of it.
He's the guy. He's the guy. If you want to blame anybody.
Yeah, well, that's what everyone else says. But
I think it's hard because, there's classes without a raid buff and they don't really bring, it's you talk about utility, you talk about, usefulness in the raid and everything else, and you want to bring a certain comp. If you take that away, then the comps start to become really just whatever, and you don't have that. I don't know. I don't mind the raid buffs because you don't need a raid full of monks. You just need a monk, and you start to get inclusive of certain classes. But then you have like warlocks who, don't have, or death knights who don't have a raid buff, whatever, and they get kind of shafted a little bit. So I don't know how you balance it out, but I don't know. I don't want to lose the raid buffs.
So you like them because they have like a fun little cherry on top, or is it like you feel like they're critical?
Like I'm playing a Dev Evoker and they don't have a raid buff.
Not really,
do they? Well, they give you the
they do. It's the CDR, isn't it?
No, it just lets you have the CDR on your movement, not on.
Yeah.
Oh, on your movement, yeah, CDR on movement. Well,
whatever.
It's fine, but
that's as good as the Hunter one, Scrap.
The Hunter one's awesome. How fucking dare you? It's amazing. I think that we were looking at that chart with all the raids world first and what they took, and they were pretty colorful. Like I like to see that it's like, oh, they have at least one hunter, maybe for Mark, who knows, but they try to get a little bit of something here and something there, and that is really nice. That is something that Mythic Plus lacks. In Mythic Plus there always ends up being like a really stark meta because you only have 5 people. In a raid you have 20 people. You don't see any raids where they have 10 ret pallies, because I'm guessing the raid buffs are a factor in that, right?
No, not really.
Not really.
Why don't people stack
here's the logic. What's the problem? The best DPS is.
But here's the problem. So as long as you have the one mage, the one VDH, whatever, you can then stack 10 ret pallies. It doesn't matter, right?
They do that?
No,
they did that. In a Race to World First, they had 4 fire mages and 5 windwalkers on the last fight.
Yeah.
But the point is that they didn't have 18 fire mages. They had to have their little rainbow, right?
No, and this is a problem that's mostly, if not only, affecting mythic raids, because in heroic and normal you can do whatever the hell you want with. You have 30 slots, but
we had 5 Resto Druids in Shadowlands. We had 5 Resto Druids.
But then Scrap, that goes back to the Mythic Plus part of the problem, right? Druids are almost always going to be kind of fancied for meta because of the versatility Mark of the Wild, right? And then if you have, let's say, Vengeance Demon Hunter become the meta tank just because they're the best at X, Y, and Z, then the physical players are just not existent anymore because they're going to tend to favor magic ones based on the fact that the VDH gives them that buff. So this is a problem that is... it's a design philosophy for raid that is hurting Mythic Plus.
But there's other benefits to Mythic Plus to not stacking casters and not stacking melee. We've stacked melee. That's an obvious problem, is that everybody's standing in the same fucking place. And if you stack all casters, then you can't control the kicks as well, and things like that. So it's just
not if you have a
don't have
pally.
Right, but there's ways to counterbalance it, but I think that raid buffs seem to me like they're in a good place, at least at the key level we play at. We never looking for, we talked about this before. I look for a lust and a battle res. I'm not looking for a battle shout, I guess is what I would want. A battle shout, like
Nobody
you can
wants
get a
battle
warrior
shout.
for a battle shout. Like I'm not gonna make up for the damage he doesn't do because he's a warrior. You know what I mean? Like, so at our level,
Tough.
raid buffs are not something that we ever think about, and I think you'll agree with that.
So this is a 0.1% problem, is what you're saying.
I think so. Tell me, people who are doing what we're doing, like 14s and 15s.
Be careful, because they will tell us in our comments, and we will all regret you saying that.
Fucking tell me. Go and tell me. I want to read it. Yeah.
Fear will be the first in line.
There's perception, right? Everybody wants to play like the top 1%, and they create this perception of what's meta, and they create a perception of the meta comps, the routes you should run, and everything else. And then they try to emulate that at lower key levels, and it turns out really terrible. It's one of those things that's kind of terrible about this game is these 1%ers are really dictating a lot of how people play.
Yeah, raid buffs are a factor in that, right? But I think what they realized when they accidentally pushed the slider on monks a little too far, they saw like a huge shift and being like, oh, that's gonna like push it way too hard in Monk's favor and Mythic Plus, so we need to bring it back. Like raid buffs should be.
Whoa, are you talking about that's why they reverted the Mystic Touch?
Yeah, that's why they reverted it. Like I feel like raid buffs should be.
No, that's not why they reverted it.
Oh, why did they revert it?
They reverted it because everyone else but monks will be impacted by that, right? The logic is, if I don't have a monk, if I see a group that doesn't have a monk in it, I'm not getting in it.
That's what I mean, is that monks are too good then. So it needs to stay where it is right now, where it's like raid buffs are good but not good enough to like be necessary for a Mythic Plus group unless
Mark
you're at the 1%.
Mark of the Wild is the argument, yeah, but okay.
Well, that's again
Howard
for really
Fort
high
might be the other one, you know.
Well, you got all kinds of stuff that you could need. Like you said, prop paladins got a lot of kicks. Like everybody should have something that makes them fit into the puzzle.
But that's the point, Scrap. So prop paladin and vengeance demon hunter with their silent sigils and their shields, whereas the argument is you'll never see a blood DK in meta unless they're just doing insane amounts of damage, which is once out of the last 3 expansions,
and they can survive.
Yeah. Right. And so like. That's not a raid buff thing, right? It's just more of a utility thing. But what I'm saying is that there is this impression that because VDH and therefore the caster meta comp is happening, people are at a disadvantage, even if it's only slight, even if it's only theoretical, because at the 12 no one's going to care about not having the VDH in there or whatever. My thought is like, what is this really solving? Like, what's the solve? Is it to bring every class to the raid? Or is it to stop the race to world first from making sure that they stack, like you said, 5 fire mages and whatnot? That still ends up happening because they have 8 slots no matter what that they can stack any which way they want, theoretically.
I mean, yeah, go on.
And so, like, are we really solving a problem for the game if it's really just about fixing the race to world first problem, which is stacking for the first 10 guilds that kill a boss?
Well, I was kind of hoping, like, everybody has a raid buff they bring, allegedly, maybe arguably, like, who was saying, like, warlocks don't, or whatever, but they also bring cookies, so I would consider that kind of a raid buff. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. But what I want to say is that, like, I'm hoping, especially in the age of one button, like, that it distinguishes, distinguishes me, right? No, is that
one button.
I'm like, if I'm just pressing one button on any of these specs, like to do the raid, which I do intend to do this raid tier, like I am full chillin' like the entire time. Like, what makes me a hunter? It's like, oh, I'm bringing something huntery to the group, and then I'm pressing my one button, just like you are, just like he is.
But I guess my question is, okay, there's 2 solutions. Let's say they get rid of the raid buffs altogether, or maybe they start like sharing raid buffs amongst like 3 classes. So like.
No. Like they have different names,
Arcane
but they're
Intellect
the
goes
same buff.
to Warlocks as Fell Intellect, I don't know, whatever. Because they've done that before. Does it exasperate the problem where
I think that exasperates it, because then you can't have a Warlock and a Mage, because then you can't stack them, right? Like then the Mage doesn't get any.
So you think it's less healthy for the game to do it that way?
I think it seems like it's pretty healthy right now. Like, obviously we have a meta problem, but I don't think that. I think raid buff probably factors into that, but it's more of like broader toolkit, like you were talking about, like with the prop paladin and things. That's not just because they're raid buffs that they bring. That's because their broader toolkit is better than other tanks. So I think that raid buff is a small part of the broader toolkit, and for us, definitely the smallest part. Whereas like for us, the biggest part being the B-res and the lust, and then we'll go down the line like, okay, do they have good CCs? Do they have good kicks? Can they keep alive? Blah, blah, blah. And then at the very, very bottom is what raid buff do they give again? I couldn't even tell you what half the raid buffs are that classes give. I have no fucking clue. So, I mean, don't shake your head at me, Lithian. What's the fucking rogue raid buff? Tell me what the rogue raid buff does.
3% damage reduction.
Gosh. Yeah.
Shut you! I'm asking Lithian, Frank.
It's the poisons, but that's the problem. It doesn't matter for us. Like,
yeah, it doesn't matter for us.
For heroic raid to get AOTC, you can bring. I mean, we drag people through all the time. Don't tell anybody I said that.
We've done it without a mage like 8 out of those seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't play mage, we don't have a mage most of the time.
Yeah, we don't have one.
So
I'm just saying. Yeah, this drama, clearly they put their thumb on the scale a little too hard that it was going to maybe affect us. Like, oh God, we do need a Mistweaver or whatever, a monk. And then it's like, oh no, now we don't. We're good again. Perfect equilibrium. No problem.
I mean,
that's right.
It's nice to have a monk. It's nice to have a demon hunter because then you have both, right? And then to have a druid for the buff, to have a mage for the buff, but who cares? Like, if we don't have it, we're okay.
Nice to have battle shout, but I don't want a warrior. Nice to have cookies, don't want a warlock.
I gotta apologize because somehow I froze Io and Lithian's faces, but not Scraps. I don't know how she gets out of this again.
I evaded it.
Whatever. Okay. Well, that might be a good time to end it. But Io, I didn't hear your opinion. What do you think?
Class buffs are cool and thematic. It's something you have that no one else has that you can. It's a cool little flavorful part of your class. And yeah, on the top end, it kind of keeps those mythic rating comps from getting a little too out of hand. Nobody wants to see the world first kill without their class being represented. It's people probably who want to play at that level and play that class, that spec, probably want to at least be considered. So it's cool that it exists for them. And then everyone below that, like if you're doing your AOTC with your friends, like you don't need to worry about that stuff, but it is nice to have. So, and then as far as Mythic Plus, I think it's cool because you got to see this season, if you take a bunch of stuff that synergizes well together, you can do something like the physical comp, which has a bunch of their own buffs that they're putting together to make something powerful that isn't necessarily the strongest buffs in terms of like, your arcane intellects, your demon hunter stuff and all that, but yeah, it's just you can still find other cool ways to synergize stuff together. So I think that's a cool thing that would be lost if you got rid of them. At that point, you're just literally having it come down to just pure tuning for a lot of things, and I think it's tough to rely on that because stuff's gonna always be stronger than other things. So,
well, and do you think it's fair to tune based on okay, so again, going back to the raid tuning is how they usually seem to tune their classes. If I only get a 3% buff as a caster from the VDH, but physical get 5% from Mystic Touch from or from monks, is it fair that as a caster I'm being tuned 3% and they're being tuned 5% below what because they're always going to be at a 2% disadvantage now?
That's
when the
true,
tuning
but you also have to consider that a lot of casters are also going to benefit from arcane intellect, so you've also got that on top of the other
but what about battle shot?
Well, then it evens out maybe. What's the math there?
I don't know. That's in fairness, there is no conclusive proof on that. Well, actually, there probably is, but whatever.
Okay. I know there's like what do you call it? Like circumstantial proof of that. Like, when have you ever taken a warrior in a Mythic Plus group? Like,
well, it's because they have one brain cell though.
Yeah. So the raid buff's not enough to overpower that. So.
The technique used to play with us. And maybe in our contest,
and as you pointed out, Scrap, he had the highest IO of us one season, and I should be ashamed of myself.
One season, yeah. Well, yeah, that was crazy. I was like, what was happening that season?
All right, Tech, we miss you. I think that's a good place to end the episode, yeah?
Yeah, dude.
We made it to 2 hours. Jesus Christ, we're impossible.
Told you were going to make it to 2 hours.
Well, there you got it. Full episode. No cutting corners on this one. That's episode 52. Any last thoughts? Any movies anyone? I saw Superman. That was good.
Oh, I'm gonna see it on Wednesday.
Yeah,
I saw Superman. It was all right.
Yeah, all right.
The dog was cool.
Yeah, nothing really extra for me.
We always talk about movies. What about shows? What about music? Any new music you guys listen to? The new 9 Inch Nails song for the Tron movies sounds awesome.
No.
There's another Tron movie?
Yeah, Tron Ares stars Jared Leto. So.
Oh no!
Oh boy!
Why are they still putting him in movies?
Why not?
All right. We appreciate y'all again. We might have some gaps in the episodes coming, especially the next following one, because Scrap is flying in and can't seem to figure out how to manage her time of driving home. But they will return from Gen Con the following week, and I think everyone says they'll be back for Monday, so we can release on Tuesday. We'll have pictures. We'll have our spinners. We'll have hopefully some big news from the PTR and big news from maybe even player housing. Who knows? But until then, we appreciate you all again. We will see you when we see you. Take care.
See ya.